Okay, girl, we are live. Hey, you guys. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Paris. You guys came right on in. I'm sorry for the delay. Had some personal things going on at the last minute and trying to make sure that the hubby is good. And so, he's going to keep me posted, but we are here. He's been trying to, like I was telling Bree, he's been trying to get me off of him and say he got this and therefore, go do your podcast. And I'm like, are you sure? Yes, go do your podcast. So
Mm,
we are
mm, mm.
here and we're going to talk soaps. So, how many people in the chat, girl?
Let's see what we got going on here. We're starting to roll in.
Okay.
Everyone just got the notification. Almost 15 people so far.
Okay. Hey,
Hey guys.
Monique. Hey, Aisha. Aisha, I did see your comments on my other channel. You've been checking out the Love is Blind recaps. So I appreciate you. Thank you for the support.
You do the reviews on Love Island, right?
Love Island, Love is Blind, Ready to Love. I was doing it on The Bachelor, but I don't remember the last time we had a Bachelor. I think it was early last year or something. And I do
I think
Married
the
at
last
First Sight Australia too. So
Oh, okay. There's a guy on this season of Traders who was from I think Love Island. I'm in love with him.
what's his
He's
name?
just this cut. His name is Rob C.
Oh
He's from
yeah, Rob
Alabama.
is funny. Yeah, Rob is hilarious. I mean, he was from Love Island, I think, 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I love him. He's just so handsome. Got them all. He had all the arms and everything. This is very lumberjack, but I'm like, okay, maybe I need to check out Love Island, see what that's about.
Yeah, well, Love Island USA, UK, USA, and Australia happens at specific times of the year. So, Love Island USA usually happens between like July and August. Love
Hmm.
Island Australia, all because they're on opposite seasons as us, they usually have their Love Island season in October, November, early December. So they just finished up. And then Love Island UK usually is the first one. So that one should be coming up soon. Yep.
Okay, check it out.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys. So welcome to Soap Corner Talk, where Bree and I will be recapping The Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful, and Beyond the Gates for the week of February 16th through the 20th. We only got 1 week left in February. Next Saturday is the 28th, and we'll be in March. I'm telling you, and I say this every time we do a show, time is flying.
Right. This was a very quick sweeps, it felt like. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
You know, will I won't do it now, but I will maybe ask you guys in a couple weeks, probably after you get back, Bree, about what y'all thought
Hmm.
about this previous sweeps that we had, for the first sweeps month of 2026 and see what your thoughts are.
Yeah, because I will say the theme across all three of the soaps is manipulation.
Yeah, very much so. And Monique Abrams, I totally agree. I was just telling Bree about that. She says Sally confuses me. She was complaining about Billy being all about Chancellor, but when he gift wrapped Newman Media to her, now she doesn't have an issue with it. Yep, we're gonna talk
Yeah,
about it. We Jenna says she thinks that the sweeps were a total bust.
I agree with that, especially if you
Now,
look at Bold.
she also say that all of the shows fail the sweeps. I don't know about it. Beyond the Gates always keep us on our toes, sweeps months or not. So I don't know. That could it's to each his own, but yeah,
I feel
exactly.
I feel like they're moving more than the other two shows.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I will agree that it's kind of moving a little slow for me too,
Oh, okay.
personally.
I got you.
But it's still entertaining. It's still good.
I
It
will
is.
say there's one storyline that I think they keep changing, and that's the one with Haley. It's one moment she's gold digger, one moment she's poisoning, and the next moment you get punched in the face, and now you want his attention. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. And it look like they're trying not to write her into a corner because obviously Laquita Goings is a great actress, and they probably don't want her to go anywhere. But what are you going to do if you're going to keep, because this is, the walls are closing in on this whole thing with that punch in the face. So,
Yeah, really quickly.
mm-hmm.
And Randy gonna be the fall guy. He gonna be the guy that that Joey's gonna be looking for. Haley's gonna pin that on him. I can almost guarantee that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's crazy. But then she gonna look like a whole liar because we saw, well, we'll talk about that, but we saw them at the bar today where they was just having a cordial conversation. Then if that's the case, you're gonna say he punched me in the face. There's you cannot be that slow as an attorney. But anyway, all
You're a
right.
man with money. Why don't
Hmm.
It's like, why not hire like some security or private investigator? Why don't you see where your wife goes?
Yeah, exactly. But he's so lost in the sauce about that girl done put a battery in his back, and now he's just going haywire trying to find this mystery mugger that don't exist.
Yeah.
It's just a whole plot for you to give her more attention. Okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Which it's yeah. I think they're kind of stuck on what to do with her.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we'll dive into that a little bit later, but without any further ado, after we normally do the recaps, we also have several segments at the end. Flip the script. Who's taking several seats? Star of the week, pickle up the week, and our Simp Olympics and the Lily Winters Award. Okay, so just to let you know. All right, so let's go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. I know we're a little behind and I started the show late. We're going to go ahead and jump into Y&R. We have still the ongoing Get Newman Back, tour. And then this whole thing with Abby, Devon, Dominic, and, stuff like that. So I kind of want to, let's get Nick out the way because we're getting into the beginning of this whole pop and pill storyline that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really good for Josh Morrow. It's not a romantic storyline. This is where we get to really his see him see his character go a completely different direction. Um, the his anger
Mm-hmm.
towards Phyllis when the medication wears down, the pain meds wear down. For me, that's an indicator she's about to be a part of his addiction storyline. She's gonna end up saving him,
Yep.
and that's gonna be part of her redemption tour right there.
That's what I think
Um,
so too. Mm-hmm.
yeah, because it's like 1 minute he's full blown angry at her, then he pops a pill, and then he's what was he like? He's like, well, I understand where Phyllis is coming from, and she didn't really mean to do it. She's a great mom, and yada yada.
Yeah, and then she was saying, oh, she really hasn't been the same after the Martin Laurent situation, and I mean, she's a good person. I mean, people have always been coming, and they were sitting around at that table looking at him like, what are you smoking?
And Victoria almost lost her mind on Monday's episode because
Mm-hmm.
he even brought up like, "Hey, our mom has done unforgivable things, and we still stood by her." And the look on Victoria's
Talking
face
about that's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same because you don't want to apply
to
it the
be
same way. So,
exactly.
um, but anyway, yeah, I'm wondering, this is the beginning of that storyline. I'm really looking forward, especially with Matt Clark coming back. Matt Clark might use this as a way to manipulate them as well. Because how did he? I mean, how did he get those pills in the first place? I'm not saying Matt put them there. It could just be prescription type pills that he's getting addicted to, because obviously things like Percocet do exist, fentanyl still exists, and it is an opioid or whatever, but they can be highly addictive if not managed properly. And he's hurting so bad. My thing is, if your leg is still hurting that bad and you left the hospital too early, you might
Yeah.
need to go back and have them look at that.
Yeah. And sometimes for some people, especially when you're on narcotics for quite some time, because this has been what, almost 2 months since his
Yep.
injury? Because this happened in December, right?
Yep.
Sometimes that could kind of, I guess, trip you up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll make you think that there's pain that's not really there. That's how the addiction can kind of creep its ugly head. But I think those pills came from Matt Clark when they took him and held him hostage, because those are
Mm-hmm.
the same pills that he was trying to give Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Same baggie. So, but I will say that Josh, even the facial expressions of an addict, I was like, okay, he's really playing into that role. He's ready
Right.
for his Emmy now.
Oh yeah, this is probably going to be his Emmy reel for 2027. So it's just interesting that they want their Emmy reels to represent, especially on YNR, something where there's a mental health crisis. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because I mean, it was the same thing for Eileen Davidson when she had that, break in reality.
the DID storyline.
Right. All of those. So it's like, I mean, is there any way else to get a good storyline unless you're crashing out? You know what I mean? I
I
don't know.
mean, they'll do like an addiction storyline, or they'll do like some sort of like
Illness.
medical, yeah, storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very rare that we see a storyline where it's about like a relationship and like the people breaking up. I remember back in the day when Phyllis was with Nick and he was bouncing between her and Sharon. Both Sharon Case
Mm-hmm.
and Michelle Separate had some incredible scenes
Mm-hmm.
that I think got them some Emmy nominations.
Right. Because
But
I guess it's
that's,
where the most emotion is, and you really get to play an intense role. So obviously, I can see that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Josh Morrow, him and his son, they're really getting
yep.
some good content to work with on, with Crew being over on Bold, and, Josh doing his thing as a veteran soap actor over here on YNR. So we'll see how that
I,
pan out.
I think Crew is going to get his first nomination as a
Probably
younger
so.
actor. I think he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Josh, just like Gayla pointed out, he has never been nominated for a Daytime Emmy, which is crazy.
I know, right?
30 years on the show. So, yeah, he's ready for his Emmy now.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Exactly. All right, let's dive into, before I go into the Newman side of the world, I'm going to, deal with this thing with Mariah. Mariah went to be arraigned and she is out with the ankle monitor, which I think that happened the week of the 6th. However, I didn't understand why Christine, and I don't even understand what's the limitations on Mariah's monitor, because normally you can only go so many feet from whatever the thing is that monitor that. But she's able to walk around town. What's the purpose with an ankle monitor if you can go where you want? That doesn't make sense to me, writers.
Yeah. And it actually angers me as a viewer because they're trying to stress that this is an insanity plea and that she's not guilty for her actions. Okay, put her in a mental hospital. She
Exactly.
shouldn't be roaming around in Genoa City where she could run into basically her victims. That
Well, she
boy,
ran
Abby
into
and
her
Devon.
victim, and then I fought Christine on this because as an attorney, don't you got an office or something? Why did you
Right.
have to meet her at this public place where you might run into Devon or you run into Abby and Dominic, which did happen, and Dom was like, "Oh, there's my hide and seek friend, and I'm sorry, I wanted to go home because I was tired." This boy sees nothing wrong with what happened. However, Abby is hotter than fish grease.
And I'm right along with her. I think it was absolutely stupid at the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning of the week for Sharon to bring her over to their house. That was absolutely stupid. Like, there is just no way I would have been okay with that. And I'm like, Sharon, you're a psychiatrist. It's one thing to focus on your daughter's mental well-being, but what about the parents whose child was taken away from their household?
Yeah,
Where
and
where's
mm-hmm.
where is the respect there?
See, and that's why the ankle monitor thing doesn't make sense. I mean, y'all just threw that on for a prop. At least it make sense because she's able to go to that restaurant. She's able to go all the way over to the victim's house. You would think that ankle monitor or any tracker would have alerted something to say, hey, the person wearing this is going over to the victim's house. How were you able to do that? That makes no sense. And
Right.
like Christine did say, why would you go over there face to face and apologize to them? I get it, you were trying to virtue signal, but there's rules and regulations around staying away from the victim. And you just figure because y'all cool like that, or at least she thought, that I can just show up and tell Devon and Abby I'm sorry. And yeah, it don't work like that.
Yeah, that was just absolutely stupid. And at the same time, Christine put her in a mental institution until her trial date. If she was able to check herself in Boston voluntarily, she should be able to do the same thing in Genoa City and sit there
Yeah,
since
but
she can't sit at home.
did you hear Christine? Oh, you need to be able to go out and go about your life. That's the purpose of you defending her for a crime. The crime was she kidnapped somebody.
A baby, a child.
A child at that, and you talking about, oh, you, because even Mariah was like, I feel guilty being out here. Well, you should have stayed at home. But on the flip side, Christine is sitting around talking about, what a judge say you were free to roam around. Okay.
And that's the irritating part right there. Like, I felt for Abby when she confronted Christine.
Mm,
Christine was like, well, the judge saw the mental evaluation and they don't feel that, Dominic was a threat when he was with Mariah. It don't even matter. She tried to take that baby out of the country.
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't trust her around any children either. Because once again, you're pleading insanity that she wasn't in her right mind frame. Who's to say that she could take another child? I agree with that 100%. Put her in a mental institution. Since it wasn't she released into Sharon's care,
I think so.
and Sharon's over there at the coffee shop. I'm like, Mariah, you don't need to leave your house to go get some coffee. Your mother runs a coffee shop. Have her bring you some to your home.
Yeah, that was just so dumb as an attorney. Meet your client in your office or meet her over at the house where she's staying. And again, writers, what's the purpose of putting an ankle monitor on somebody that the ankle monitor don't have restrictions? What
Yeah,
restrictions? She's able to go to the victim's house. That thing should be ringing from here to Kalamazoo.
and the way I was so upset. Like, instead of Mariah and Christine just leaving and walking away,
Mm-hmm.
Mariah squats down and talk to that boy. I was livid because I'm like, that were my son, I would lose my mind. I'm like,
And
Abby kept her cool. And I get that, but no, don't go anywhere, breathe anywhere near my child.
Right. I agree. So, I mean, obviously, this is going to continue to get as we, because remember, she said the court date is in March. And I'm thinking to myself, like, we got to go a whole nother month almost for this storyline. But
Pretty much.
maybe it'll speed up faster because the middle of March and trying to sit around and wait for her to get arraigned or whatever's going to happen to her. Mm-mm. That
And
whole sequence and that scene was just weird to me because there are some things that just don't make sense.
and I thought that it was interesting to see Devon's changed his tune about Mariah, because at first he was like, "That's our friend. We got to, know that she would hurt our son and yada yada yada." And now he's like, "Well, maybe she needs to be in jail,"
Yeah,
which I'm
because
like,
his wife was about to peel his head. That's why.
"Yeah." I'm like, and I don't blame him. And I understand Nate is trying to give a medical perspective. Okay, once again, she's not in a mental institution, so the parents are on guard about what's going on. But here's my thing: like, why didn't Devon and Abby get a restraining order?
Because yeah, that's the other thing. You know, keep her away from my house. She shouldn't have had the opportunity to even go over there. Being walking out where she can run into them like she did. All of it's just I don't know. Obviously, the writing is meant for that way, either to antagonize the watchers or this is leading to a different plot line. So that's all
Yeah,
that I can, you know, say that it might be a situation of.
yeah, very cringy storyline, but
Yep,
I can step into the shoes of the parents. That's hard.
yep, I agree. All right, so let's talk some Newman business. First we let's deal with Sally and the tail end of Billy and Sally's relationship, which also now brings in Audra. And Sally did also have a conversation with Adam about everything that is going on. Um, Sally originally, Billy handed her a dose of how he truly felt, and I think that came off of the week of February 6th, where he pretty much told her like, look, you got your hopes and dreams, how come I can't have mine? And pretty much we already discussed this, that if I get this, you get that. Now you got a problem with it and you want to call me obsessive and I'm doing the wrong thing. And as we saw last Friday, was it last Friday on the 13th
Mm-hmm.
episode, that girl was gifted a Newman Media.
Yep,
And
two companies.
she has Abbott Communications and Newman Media. Okay. And she married both of the companies together to come up, which we'll talk about in a minute, Spectra Charles Media. Okay. But before we get to that part, she was so upset with Billy. Billy let her slide because, I mean, but I don't know if he did because the conversation that I heard her have with Chelsea on Monday was like the decision was out of her hand. The board and Billy wanted her to do whatever she wanted to do want her to do the things that they wanted to do. So I'm thinking that Billy still has a hand in that media company. Did you hear that part?
Yeah, that's what it kind of alluded to me. Um, I think he's just letting her, because that's still technically his,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I feel like maybe towards the end there might be like a legal loophole, because she said that her contract with Abby Communications is rock solid, and even Adam is like, well, contracts break all the time. Um, so I think if he wanted to be petty enough, he could take it away from her, but he's not going to do that.
Yeah,
But
but
it's like,
here's the thing, Bree. Something doesn't jive in that whole situation, and the reason that I say that is because Jill is the the whole, she went through her. So did Billy now acquire, because she, at first this company was all hers. Billy was like, it's yours, right? You get to run it. So now, and Jill gave her the money to fund the business, right? So whatever. Now Abbott Communications is under Chancellor because he gave her Newman Media. See, that part don't make sense to me.
Because wouldn't that create a new contract?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying the writers just slid that under the door, because obviously they're, most people ain't gonna think and dissect like we do over here. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, I what is she mad about? What was she truly mad about with Billy? Because she had no problem taking it and renaming it for herself.
she's mad that she couldn't. This is going back to what I've been saying for the past couple months with this situation. Sally wanted to
Mm-hmm.
control and rein in Billy to get him to move how she wanted him to move. That's what this is about. And when Billy decided to move the way he wanted to move, she was butthurt about it. She just like Phyllis did all those years ago when she was dating Billy. She thought she could enable him and move and stuff like that. When it blew up in her face, she was pissed. Well, Phyllis tried to tell you last year, you can't control Billy. Billy's going to do what Billy wants to do in the end, and he did. Now, he didn't do anything hurtful. He was handed like he told, um, we got to talk about that conversation with him and Nick, because I created a
Oh,
standalone clip on Instagram about that with a little bit of extra editing. That whole scene was beautiful.
and
He
her editing was so good, guys. You guys need to check that out. It was so good. Every
listen,
clip fit every moment, everything.
I just had to, because, and Jason Thompson, I'm just going to say it, he's going to get my star of the week, because out of everybody that had to go up against the Newman, he stood toe to toe with them.
Yeah,
The only person he backed down to this week was Sally, which I
yeah,
didn't like that. But when it came to Nick and Victoria, he ain't scared.
and Nikki.
And Nikki. Yeah, Jason
He was
Thompson
not
cut
bugging.
up this week. I got to give it to him. I was clapping and screaming. I'm like, you tell him. And then he threw
That
in those little ad libs about, oh, you want to fight? Okay, do you want to make this fight equal by me jumping on one leg?
and then he said that thing about animal control,
Right, he
about a
said it's
wounded dog.
time for you to leave before I call animal control to take you out. That
Oh, there's a wounded dog.
it's a wounded dog
Oh,
up in here.
that was that was great writing for Jason Thompson. That
Yes, it
was
was.
really, really good.
I could
Um,
imagine, Bree, after the take ended, that they were in there cracking up.
yes, I'm so here
And I
for
could
it. It
see
was.
Josh Morrow telling him, man, that was good. That was funny.
I wish they would do more bloopers. I would love to see the behind the scenes and like their
Right.
bloopers and stuff. But maybe they're listening. But
Yeah.
with Sally,
Mm-hmm.
she a whole hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
So you're mad at how he acquired it, but yet you're gonna get in front of Audra and make it seem like, oh well, he just handed me this, and I'm gonna turn it around and turn a new leaf, and I'm excited to have these two new companies and change the name and change the narrative and yada yada yada. So why couldn't you do that with Billy? Like
Because she wanted to
you're
be in charge of Billy. She wanted. That's
did
what.
she,
Go ahead, Bree.
she don't need to be with a rich and powerful man is what it
Mm-mm.
boils down to.
Yeah, she wanted to be in charge. That's why she was okay with him being in that junior position up under her. and she figured that she could use the and that's the whole, like you said, the whole thing about this whole month was manipulation. She wanted
Yep.
to use manipulation to say, if you love me, you'll do anything. My thing is, let's move to that conversation over at Society when she ran into them. I mean, when Billy came in and ran into her and Audra, he was like, "I'll do anything," and she was like, "Oh, you'll do anything? Seriously?" So you just got gifted a media company that you hired Audra for, and just say he'll do anything and give everything back. That means that media company that you hired Audra for. So you're talking out of both sides of your neck. Do you want to keep the company or do you want to give it back?
And how about before that,
Mm-hmm.
she was talking with Audra and made it seem like he left her. And then when Audra tried to check Billy, is it like, you lost the best thing that's ever happened to you? No, why you left her? And Billy is like, well, she left me. I wasn't trying to leave her. And then she's like, well, yeah, I did, because you chose the company over me.
What?
Yeah, I was
Exactly. Um.
I was over her at that moment. Well, way before that moment, but in
Mm-hmm.
like, this was a stupid reason for her to leave him because he hasn't. Granted, it's a messy situation, but she's been with messy men and put herself in messy situations that she cannot judge.
Yeah, and she's how do we use to waffling, because just to kind of, and I know a couple of you guys in the chat have already seen the Monday episode, because she was in a conversation with Chelsea at some point in that conversation defending Billy. I'm like, you got a company from Billy as a gift, and you also are trying to stand up to Chelsea to defend what happened with Billy. So why won't you just fix your relationship, and how about you just be that power couple, and let's just run these businesses? I don't I don't understand the problem.
No, they're circling her back to Adam. It's the only reason why she even had that conversation with
Girl,
Adam. He was
yeah,
minding
let's
his
talk about
business.
that conversation with Adam.
He was minding his business. You see him, and you're gonna go over there and like, I had nothing to do with this takeover and him merging the two companies. He was like, oh, well, okay, thanks. Go now.
Right, but then the thing is that this is the same man that cheated on her, and he told her to her face that we coming after you for that company, and you give him no smoke, and Billy gives you a company and want to be continue to be a relationship, and you give him all kind of grief.
Yep. Look, and I'm like, Sally, you pick a side. Either you, because how can you take two companies, rename it? It's like you're embracing what just happened, but you want to blame Billy, and he was gifted a company by
And
Phyllis. He wasn't the one who destroyed the Newman, enterprises from the get go. And on
mm-hmm.
top of that, given how the Newmans have treated you, you don't take any satisfaction whatsoever as to what Billy and Phyllis were able to accomplish.
And see,
None.
this is where I miss with, just say, Bold and especially Y&R, is there's nobody clapping back. That's why when we get the clapbacks, like what we saw with Josh Morrow when he was telling people off when he was in pain a month ago, or the clapback with Billy having a conversation with Nicholas this past week. Somebody need to tell somebody about themselves, and that's where Audra should have pulled her coattail, because Audra, she just lied to you. She made him look like the villain in this whole situation when she got a gift, a huge gift of a company from the man that loved her, and she broke it off with him right after getting such a huge gift. Audra should have turned and be like, listen, I understand you mad, But I think you need to look at the bigger situation. You wouldn't have none of this if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
Abbott Communications or Newman Media, you would have nothing. And we will both be in an unemployment line if it wasn't for Billy giving you these things. He gave you two companies. And
Yeah.
his
It's
mother is adjacent to this. So you got something from both him and his mama.
yeah. Otherwise, she would be she'd be just like Audra. I mean, she should count her blessings. I don't understand. I I can't even put any thought into Sally's.
Yeah, I mean, the man didn't even cheat on her.
You would think, and I mean, she pretty much let Adam off of the hook.
Yes, she
Yeah,
did.
like the way that she's been perfect. She was perfectly fine going to Adam
Mm-hmm.
and sharing New Year's Eve with Adam, and feeling bad for the Newmans and everything. And I'm like, what has Billy done to you? He
Nothing.
pretty much she even strong armed him and niece to put on a napkin that she gets the company as long as if he was able to get chancellor, she just wants to make sure she stayed employed. He did that.
Yep. Yes, he did. You talking about ungrateful. And I'm not saying that she should be with him or not be with him. I'm just saying that it it doesn't make sense of your reaction unless you were willing to try to control this man, and when you couldn't, you're butthurt about it. Yet you're enjoying and embracing and reaping the benefits of what came from that relationship, which is that two companies that both you and Audra are now co-CEOs of, with your name slapped up on it.
Yeah, I think the positive thing for me is like, hey, Audra got a job finally, or at least temporarily. It was
Mm-hmm.
that was the only benefit I saw out of all of this.
Exactly.
I mean, a co-CEO, and her last name is on the company letter.
Yeah, she better not screw this one up, girl. But I don't think this is going to be long standing. I mean, just say the Newmans get their company back, they're going to come for all of it. Which
Yep.
now Newman Media being all intertwined in with Abbott Communications under this new name, she could be out of a whole nother company again if they decide to acquire all of it. I'm not
And
saying that they
then,
can or that they will, but the possibility is there.
yeah. Well, I guess the only positive I can think of
Mm-hmm.
is we've been wanting Billy and Sally to break up for the longest. They did it in the most petty way possible from Sally. At least Sally did it. Can't blame Billy for it. But I'm actually happy for him that
Well,
he
he
got
did try to cut
cancer.
her off. Remember, he was like, I'm done. And then he regretted it, which put the ball back in her court to cut him off at the knees. I'm like, Billy, you stated your piece and said, I'm done with that. And then you let her off the hook by saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And what did she do? You handed her the knife to chop you off at the knees.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
don't know.
only part about Billy this week that I did not like. Now, we got to switch over to the other part that happened at Chancellor with Nikki and Jack. Mm-hmm.
Just put them two together
Who?
at
Nikki
this
and
point.
Jack?
Yeah.
Girl, I'm just so
I mean,
over. You might as well call that man Jack Newman.
pretty much. Or Jack Reed, because her maiden name
Yeah,
is Reed.
Jack Reed,
But
exactly.
you go over to Chancellor and you tell a bold faced lie like, I'm just here to check on my brother. And then you're trying to guilt trip him about Nikki losing out on Chancellor. But when
Mm-hmm.
the roles were reversed, you were perfectly fine
Mm-hmm.
with Nikki kicking your brother out. And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, who pops in shortly after? Nikki. And I
Mm-hmm.
was so proud of Billy for sticking to his guns. It's like, look, uh, uh, you guys fell to the ground. I do not care. I'm back where I know I deserve to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. Oh well. But for
Yep.
what it's worth, I'm sorry for you. But your husband had it coming, and he did. They are so out of touch with reality.
Well, that's
It's
what
insane.
entitlement does. When you feel that, and I mean, granted, they own the company, but how many companies has Victor taken from people? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So for him to be so butthurt, did you think about those people when you acquired their companies? No. You just thought that you were going to be on top of the world and untouchable, and nobody could ever come for y'all and take what y'all got. But y'all will always take big bank, take little bank.
Yeah. And my thing is, Jack is so loyal to Nikki. I think he even had that little conversation with Nate at the bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even Nate was like, well, you're friends with Nikki, and Billy is your brother. Where do you stand at? Like, how do you feel about this? It's like, well, I want to be excited for my brother, but I feel terrible about how what happened to Nikki and all of this. She doesn't deserve this. She should be running chancellor.
Well, here's
The
the
same
other
Nikki who
thing.
fell asleep.
Did you hear Billy say to Nikki over at Chancellor, like, I wonder what your husband would think seeing the two of you here? This is how
Uh
all
huh.
this mess started. Because y'all don't know how to conduct yourselves where y'all are respectful to your spouses.
Mm hmm.
Because
At
we just
all.
came out of last week where that girl was mad until Valentine's Day. But she was mad because on Valentine's Day, Nikki comes up in there crying on his shoulder about all the problems that she's going through. And you holding her and rubbing her face. It's like, girl, if you don't get out of here,
Mm mm
go
mm.
spend Valentine's with your husband and y'all figure y'all thing out.
Mm.
But as usual, Jack is always coming to Nikki's defense. He calls Billy obsessed. He's more obsessed about Nikki. This man is
Than
obsessed with
anybody.
her.
He will he will defend her in front of his wife, his brother, anybody. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just he'll tell her that call whenever she wants, anything that she needs. And it's the same woman who tells him, I'm not leaving Victor. I'm on my husband's side. I'm not giving up my lifestyle. I'm not trying to be a part of your mess. I mean, I care about you, but it's never going to be the same.
And that's where he need to look at that, because you always upset with these entanglements that Victor caused that affects his wife, but she continues to stay for it. So at what point do you say, well, listen, I understand telling her, I understand that you're feeling this way, but you continue to stay with this man. What do you expect me to do? I'm not going to be a place for you to always run and cry on because your husband did something stupid. You continue to aid and abet him. So you need to go
Mm-hmm.
figure that out.
Yeah. So I'll never understand after everything that Victor has put him and his family through, even all last year.
Mm-hmm.
You still want to stick up for your enemy's wife,
Right.
and her kids don't even care. They were not trying to move mountains the way that Jack calls himself trying to move mountains for Nikki.
Mm-mm. Nope.
And
So
then he had the nerve to get on his brother about getting some form of victory over Victor. Um, But this is the same brother who you call to try to, hey, we need to get a hold of Phyllis. I need for you to work your charm with Phyllis. We need to save our family company. Why were you trying to do that? Because that man was trying to go after your family fortune.
Right.
And his wife did nothing.
Nope. She
Yeah.
claimed, oh, I'll try to do something. And in the moment when Victor dropped them jewels on her at Christmas time, she was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to help you out, in so many words. At that point, it's like, why are you fighting for somebody who ain't that won't fight, do the same fighting for you?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, Diane need to look at that. I mean, I think she created that problem because she didn't nip it in the bud a long time ago. She kept going along to get along. And then, of course, he expected Diane to continue to go along and get along. But the problem with that is her resentment built up. And she couldn't take it no more. And she went off on Valentine's Day, as she should have. But she probably should have
Mm-hmm.
nipped that in the bud a long time ago. But do I think it would have made a difference? No.
Yeah. And uh, I wonder how everyone is going to feel, especially Victor and Diane, when they actually eventually put Jack and Nikki together. Because I feel that's eventually going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, it's been, what, 2 years of seeing this?
Right. Because the pill thing happened in 24, the spring of 24.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're in the spring of 2026. It's already been 2 years.
Right.
And there's just no way at this point, with everyone kind of pointing out how Jack is caping for Nikki and how they're so close, and like their friendship is causing a lot of issues, especially for the Abbotts, that they don't put these two together at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know. It's just, it's so disrespectful. I mean, it's kind of, they're not sleeping with each other, but the affection between the two of them are so strong, and especially Jack using his protective resources for this other woman. It looks so disrespectful to Diane. And I mean, a lot of people don't like Diane because of her past, but at this point, he married her, and there's an obligation to your wife over your ex. So, I mean,
Mm.
I'm just saying. Um, it was something else I wanted to cover. Oh, so I want to also now talk about Kane and Daniel. So, Kane, oh my God, he was very pathetic this week. So, before we get to the Daniel part, with Phyllis now taking the program, Kane got the bright idea to go back over to the ranch to tell Victor, like, listen, I no longer own any of this. Phyllis does. So now, and I did also a standalone clip on Instagram about this scene as well. But he said, so now you don't need me to, you know, hold Lily over my head because I don't own it in now. It's all in Phyllis's name. And of course, Victor is like, why would I do that? Which means that he's going to use you to do his bidding for him. And of course, he fell right in line. My problem with this is that in this moment he was emotional, but then in the moment with Daniel, now you want to try to use logic to manipulate him. I'm like, there must be some sort of a hierarchy between who people think that they got control over. Because he came in there and tried to convince this man, meaning Daniel, that I'm going to need you to go and convince your mother to give back everything, and because we need to get Lily back, and even use this man's past relationship with Lily, which that man had been through two women already, what, Heather and now Tessa, and then you want to circle way back there and say, I know you still care about Lily, you were in a relationship with her. He don't want to go down that rabbit hole with you. You want to go down that rabbit hole. Even Daniel actually said to Kane, listen, dude, Victor's not going to hurt them. He said, that's at least one thing I can agree with my mom is that Victor's not going to hurt them. That's Neil Winter's daughter. Well, I don't want to take that chance. Well, you're an idiot. And they know it and they're using it. And I was hoping Daniel would tell him to go to you know where. But I don't think we got a clear answer out of Daniel before they switched off, did we?
No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, Kane,
Mm-hmm.
you don't own the company anymore. He's still saying that he's holding Lily and your kids hostage. Why not call the police?
Right. Thank you.
Or at the very least, call her brother,
Mm-hmm.
call her cousin,
Mm-hmm.
call Abby even, call whoever. You also have money. Get a private investigator. Kyle was able to have all of the Newmans followed, and that's how he was able to get Matt Clark in his possession to try to use that as leverage. Have the Newmans followed so you can try to get their information, bug the house, do something beside, oh, Victor, you win. Okay, Victor, all right, I'll do this for you. Just a big sack of sorry.
Mm-hmm. He looks so pathetic this week.
He really does. And I'm like, poor Billy Flynn. I mean, and once again, no shade whatsoever to the actor. It's just this is what they keep doing to this character. Like, why? Like,
Mm-hmm.
just let him just be a billionaire. They could have just left everything alone and
Mm-hmm.
have him be like, you know what? I don't care if Lily and the kids, you know, whatever happens to them. Like, they already cut me off. So what is it to me? It could have went, you know, it's cruel, but they cut him off already. He could have just ran the company with Phyllis and just kept it moving. I was looking forward to that, but now I'm perfectly fine with Phyllis being in control. But it's like you're still choosing. This is a choice
Mm-hmm.
to still be manipulated by Victor.
Mm-hmm. I don't believe. I just can't honestly believe that the way that, like you say, the way it's written, that Kane actually would think that Victor would harm his children. And Lily, it's too much history there. And it's another crime to add upon everything else that Victor's done. He's just not thinking. His emotions is
Mm-hmm.
driving his decision making. And when you got somebody saying, listen, Daniel, I'm mad at him. Listen, Kane, this is Daniel I'm talking about. And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, one thing I will say my mother is right about is that this man ain't gonna hurt your family, and you still don't believe it, then you know what, you deserve to get bumped upside the head. See a fool bump his head, because that's exactly what you are.
Yeah, I mean, the most that he's done was what, hire Holden
Mm-hmm.
to monitor the private investigators in LA, and that did nothing.
Yeah, we're gonna talk
So
about that
call the
part too.
police.
You know, but like you say, and look like based on the spoilers for next week, I think Devon and Nate do finally get in contact with Kane, and Kane tells them what's up. They blame him for it, and then they get in Victor's face about what's going on with Lily. So it seemed like the week of the 20, what is it, 22nd? What's the day? 21 to 23rd. The week of the 23rd is where we're going to see more movement, where Nate and Devon finally find out, what's going on. But Kane should have went straight to the cops, because at this point you don't own the company. You own nothing. You don't have the AI. You don't own Newman Enterprises. You own nothing. Phyllis took it. Save yourself and your family if that's what you want to do, and get the authorities involved.
Right. Because it's been, what, 2 weeks at this
Girl,
point?
yes.
And at this point, you don't want to get the police involved, that is crazy.
He rather, instead of calling the police, you call Daniel. What Daniel gonna do? Even who said this in the chat? Um, yeah, Paris. Paris said Daniel said his mothers ain't gonna listen to him. Phyllis is not. He has already been trying to talk Phyllis off the ledge with this thing, and Phyllis has done nothing but stood her ground. So,
Yeah.
you want to manipulate your mother like you was manipulated, and he's like, that don't work with. That's not gonna work with her. You know.
Because it did, she would move differently, which is why I don't understand like why Victoria thinks it's a good idea to reach out to Summer, have her go against her mother,
Right.
which is once again, it, Phyllis is just as ruthless and cold as Victor when she wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even going to phase her one bit. So you have to literally pry that company out of her hands. You can't even use the kids.
Mm-mm.
Because she knows the kids are going to forgive her. I mean, she faked her own alive and went to her funeral.
Exactly.
And the kids forgave her. This is a business school.
Right. This is a different type of person. This ain't Kane.
Right.
Like you say, if she's that narcissistic to watch and get, because that's that type of behavior, that you will go to your own funeral just to see how people react to your death. Yeah, how you gonna move? So what? Daniel and Phyllis say, I'm done with you. She gonna be like, oh, okay. You said that before when I act like I was. That's the worst thing you could ever do, is play like you're dead to your children.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Ugh.
Right.
It's
So for Victoria or anybody else to think that that's gonna be something that they could use to work against her, y'all got a mountain to climb when it comes to that.
So Wanda Jenkins had a couple really good comments here. She said, I wonder what Devon and Nate are going to do when they find out that Lily is going along with the plan.
Okay, so you and I had that conversation in our group chat, remember?
Yeah.
So I brought that up too. I think because one of the things that Devon and Nate was complaining about on the Thursday, February 19th episode was her leaving stuff behind, work is stacking up, ain't nobody heard anything. And if in fact she was promised something, whether it was Newman Media, which that's gone, but obviously, what's his name? Adam is
Mm-hmm.
thinking, or Chancellor, which Victoria is thinking that maybe their dad gave the company away to her because that's what she always wanted. They're going to be pissed at her because you left us high and dry, created a plan and get in cahoots with the Newmans just to go work for them when we accepted you back after you pretty much dissed us. And we told
Yeah.
y'all, when you got screwed by the Newmans, we welcome you with open arms. And now you're going to get back in bed with them in these dealings against Kane only to leave us high and dry. I think they're going to be upset.
Especially Devon because she faked her own kidnapping
Exactly.
along with the kids. And
Yep.
his child really was affected by that.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredibly insensitive and immoral just to get whatever Victor's offering her, as if that's ever worked out for her.
Because there is going to be obviously they're blaming Kane in next week's spoilers that I did see that. So I'm assuming Kane tells them what Victor's up to, and Devon and Nate is going to react, which is why they confront Victor later in the week. But when it all comes out, they're gonna they, you can't tell me, especially like you just said with Devon going through a whole kidnapping of Dominic. They over here playing kidnapping. Y'all playing games.
Yeah. Yeah. It is at her and those kids.
And I need the accountability to go around. I'm sick and tired of hearing everybody blame Kane for all of this. Okay, he has his part, but there were a lot of decisions made in here individually by other people, and they need to take their accountability on that, especially Victor. The family want to make it
Yeah.
about everybody else, but your daddy housed that AI program and was
For
using it against
months.
people.
The very first attack he made, was it August or September, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He used it on Arabesque. No
Yep.
one said anything about it.
Yep.
Then he dangled that software over the Abbott's heads
Mm-hmm.
for months. They didn't say anything about it. They were perfectly fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Even Adam was like, hey, this is a great thing for us to acquire.
Mm-hmm.
Did not care. But the moment that someone else is able to take you guys down, and actually, it was a button that took the Newmans down.
Right.
Kane
Exactly.
flipped a button. The software was already in the Newman system. You would have thought Victor had enough common sense to get rid of it or have it posted someplace else, like a
Mm-hmm.
shell company. But no,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't. He couldn't plan for something like that.
Mm-mm.
He should have never had it in the first place. But no one wants to implicate Victor. And that's the part with Victoria that got on my nerves this week.
It's not even just Victoria, it's everybody else that's surrounding this whole thing. Michael,
Yep.
Nikki, y'all all want to project the blame elsewhere when he could have told Phyllis no when she jumped on his doorstep offering him that program. Oh no, he wanted that power. He wanted it and he wielded it and he used it.
And it's no surprise that they all were able to celebrate Christmas and go shopping, celebrate the holidays. And meanwhile, the Abbotts were in a panic, had to shut half of their company down. They ran a whole smear campaign on Billy, like they do, like almost every year, it seems like. And then they wonder why people are happy for their downfall.
Mm-hmm.
They're out of touch with reality. They
Mm-hmm.
had it coming. And why should we feel bad for them? We don't, but I mean, they want people to feel bad for them. And I'm surprised that there's people who are like Michael, who like Victor talks about this man like a dog and dangles this friendship to do the most unconscionable criminal things. And then you got Sharon, because we talked about this in the group chat too. She did the very same thing Phyllis did. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
She was married to Tucker McCall, and they took over Newman Enterprises,
Yep.
stripped the Newmans, same way Phyllis did, of any power and control. And for
Mm-hmm.
her to have the gall to judge Phyllis.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you got Chelsea, hypocritical. They all like completely out of touch with reality, but they feel that Phyllis and Billy should just do the right thing and give them back to the company where it belongs and yada yada yada. No, you okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Girl. Yeah, it was a lot of audacity this week. I'm
It,
trying
it's
to
it,
think, was it something else? Oh, we got to talk about Claire and Holden in LA. Mm. The manipulation continues because somebody got boxolitis. So, as you guys probably remember last week, when Kane told Holden to fly out to LA to kind of get some information and keep this between the two of them. Of course, he did not. He saw Claire, asked Claire, hey, let's take a trip to LA again and live our best lives because I got work to do. She saw this as an opportunity instead of a pleasure trip, even though I guess she got a little bit of pleasure hiking or whatever. Her purpose was to go down there. And so I don't want to take all of it because I know you probably got a lot to say too, but
Are you good, girl? Go for
um
it.
when this guy says, "Hey, I was thinking, do you want something serious?" Now, remember, this girl already told him that she did not. But I guess he wanted to kind of circle back after a fun trip in LA and says, what do you think about doing something serious? And she was like, well, no. Yeah, no. And she goes into this whole thing about how she can't trust him and I don't know you like that. Okay, but you busted wide open for him 3 4 times for him to blow your back out. But you trusted him to do that, but you can't trust him for anything else.
Uh-huh. You trust him to go back to LA a second go around and spend Valentine's Day with him.
Mm-hmm.
But you're so butthurt that you don't know what the secret between Audra and Holden, which had nothing to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't even a thought. It happened years ago. Same way there's stuff that he probably doesn't know about her that she's probably done. Mm-hmm. Once again, who is she to judge and to dig up information for a man that she said is not hers? She doesn't want a serious relationship.
Mm-mm.
So what's the effort for?
Exactly. Until he... oh, go ahead. I'm
sorry. But my thing is, like, even if he were to tell her, she could easily be like, well, that's too intense for me. Thank you for sharing, but I don't think I can have a relationship with you. So it's like, you're not going to get the outcome that you want.
Mm-mm.
Try to kiss up to her.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. And then he realizes that that's the reason that she came out there, was to figure out. And she tells him at the end of that conversation, as they were getting ready to walk out, that unless you pretty much tell me what happened between you and Audra, I don't think we could see each other again. Knowing that this man wants what he wants, which is to be with her, again, manipulating his emotions to get him to do what she wants him to do. And I'm looking at Holden. The ball is in your court, dude. Either you gonna have, because you could give her the information and she could walk away from you. She already asked Kyle out. Oh, that kiss happened too. She already asked Kyle out, which he found that out that she was in LA. But Holden needs to take a step, think, use your brain, not the other. The blood is in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And see what's exact. You're being manipulated. Your emotions are being manipulated. She's saying, if in order to be with me or even to speak to me again, I need you to tell me what happened. You don't owe her nothing. And the reason that I say that, Bree, is because she says, I don't want anything serious. Okay, well, he doesn't owe you anything.
Right. It's like you just really just looking to be nosy at this point.
Right. Or to start some mess with Audra, who technically left her alone.
Yeah, for 2 months now. Mm-hmm. We haven't really seen any scenes with her and Audra except for like at the coffee shop, and that was it. She told her like Happy New Year, and that was pretty much it. Mm-hmm. That was well over a month ago. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't expect for Audra to, like her overnight and vice versa, but there's no reason to really go after Audra at this point. You're not with Kyle. You made it clear you don't want to be with Kyle. You made it clear you don't want to be with Holden, but yet you're going out of your way to just hop on a plane to LA, knowing all the stuff that's going on with your family at that time, to try to be petty and get information about Audra. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. That's supposed to make some sense. And then she had to bring up, oh my goodness, my little cousin Dominic, he was missing, and maybe I should go back to your family. Yeah, maybe you should.
Well, maybe you should. Here's the other thing. Holden finally tells her that he thinks that Victor might be behind the kidnapping of Lily. And here she go again. Would he really do that? I don't think my grandpa would. Okay. You just came off of two or three examples where you said the same thing and come to find out from your mom and your grandma that he was doing those things. And now we got another situation. I don't think he would do that. Okay. Mhm.
I mean, I guess she's perfectly fine with egg on her face because Kyle tried to tell her. I feel like quite a few people try to tell her
Mhm.
about her grandfather, and she will still take up for this man,
Yep.
even in this instance. So
Mhm.
he's telling you, hey, Lily and the kids are missing, and Kane thinks your grandfather has something to do with that. Well, even if he did, I can understand a reason as to why he did. Mm.
Mhm.
So you're perfectly fine with your grandfather's criminal acts, but you want to dig into people's personal and private lives from years ago just to find a way to get out of the situation, because that's pretty much what she did. She's holding this above his head just so she can find an exit and say, like, hey, I can't be with you. You're not being honest with me, and yada, yada, yada. Same way she was trying to find a reason to break up with Kyle using Victor, and that didn't work until
Mhm.
she had to woman up and break up with him herself.
Yep. And then before we move on to Bowl, we got to talk about that kiss between Audra and Kyle. Hmm. What do you think about that?
You know, they're definitely going to put these two together, especially after Monday's episode. The way they were kind of tag teaming, trying to get Noah together, and so like, hey, we don't feel bad for Victor. We're happy for this victory, and the way that he defended Audra, I was like,
You saying
okay,
Noah defended Audra?
no,
Oh,
Kyle.
Kyle. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you'll see that towards the end of the episode,
Okay,
but
gotcha.
yeah, I got my hopes up thinking that Audra and Noah were going to get back together. I was like, no, definitely not now. But yeah, they both like this cat and mouse thing. And I'm like, just go ahead and put them together. She's due a man at this point, and he needs someone. And this will definitely get under Claire's nerves, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right. Did we cover everything?
All except for one thing.
Okay.
Victoria,
Okay.
the she is incredibly evil for what she's doing to Billy.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
With the kids in boarding school.
and then how nasty she was talking to him, like, well, you're going to go along with this plan whether you like it or not. Like, I had no problem going to the dean where my father donates plenty of money, and I can paint a picture to where the Newmans are absolved of any wrongdoings, and point everything back to you and Phyllis. Of course they're going to side with me. That is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
This is how petty and how low. These are some sore losers. They are resorting to kidnapping and using kids as a form of manipulation. And she's even trying to use Nick's kids as a form of manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I do not feel bad at all about the Newmans falling to the ground. I'm hoping that Phyllis stays in power at this point. You're using his kids, and you had the nerve to say that, well, they're going to feel ashamed of their father for what for what he did to their grandfather and their grandmother, and taking their legacy away. They're Abbotts, and he keeps making that clear. They're Abbotts. That is their last name. Their legacy is fine, but you have nothing to say about your father's actions for what he was trying to do to my family. She
Exactly.
never had nothing to say about that.
Nope. She just brushed it off.
So she's getting a seat in the pits of hell
And I
as far
mean,
as
we did hear Jack when she walked back inside to sit down. We did hear Jack kind of say, I understand, and I hate what happened to Nikki, but do you think it's a good idea with what you're doing with these kids? And she was like, I know what I'm doing. I hope all of it blows up in her face. The summer thing that we'll see on Monday, the situation with her almost adult kids, because Johnny is up there. He got to be like 17 at this
yeah,
point, and how whether or not he's going to be willing to go, all of that. So we'll
yeah.
definitely see.
But
I hope it blows up in her face royally.
and I hope Nate sees this too. She telling you to your face that she has no problem stooping so low like her father and using her kids to do that. But
And
he's entertaining her.
and by the way, I know y'all were asking what Nate and Devon will feel like if once they know she went along with this plan, meaning Lily. How is Nate gonna now look at Victoria because she knew and didn't say anything? That was a topic of conversation last week between her and her mother.
Yeah,
So Nate needs to wake up. And if he gets stuck and go down that rabbit hole with Victoria, the next big fallout, um, that's on you. Cause I mean, how
oh
many
yeah,
times do you have to get involved with them to realize that the outcome is still going to end up the same? And she's already lying of omission to you about your own family. So I'm just saying.
and and if you're okay with that, then you really deserve everything that you get
Yep,
because
absolutely.
she ended up lying and playing in his face pretty much. So he's okay with lying. So then he should never have any issue regarding with Audra then, right?
Correct.
Because if we were to compare the two, looks like what Victoria's doing is far worse. And the Newmans have done far worse than what Audra did.
That's kind of what I brought up last year on one of our podcasts about the fact that you get pissed off of Audra working with the Newmans, yet you go back and get involved with them. So you pissed off at
Right.
her working with them, yet you turn around and get right back in bed with them. That makes no
Bringing
sense.
tequila and roaches and, going to the family gatherings. And yeah, he such a hypocrite.
Yeah,
Like you have all of this anger and animosity for getting cheated on by Audra when all it was just your karma for what you did to Elena, and you
right.
can't get over that.
And the thing is, it was a plan to break up Claire and Kyle, and there was a kiss that happened. You mad because of that. Well, you're also, again, back in the same fold of the people that you did not want her to be involved with. So pick a struggle. Either you want to be
Right.
mad and say, hey, don't work for them, yet you turn around and you go hang out and try to date the daughter of the same man. Whatever, Nate. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Now we're good.
and then somebody did say something about Noah and Sienna.
Oh, the way he crawled back to try to get his girl, and she still left him.
Right, he came back solo dolo.
She made him dance, like, dance with me and I'll go with you. And then what happened? He went back to his mom. Mom, she needs some time. She needs the baby. Just go ahead and let her go. This is going to be a running theme of Sienna.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Girl. Okay. I wanted to make sure because somebody brought it up. Say, hey, don't forget about Noah and Sienna. So I wanted to make sure that we touch on that. And yes, Jenna, Mitch Matt is coming back.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Sure is. Okay. Let's go over the bold. Pretty much one and a half storylines this week. majority of it this week had to do. We got no Taylor and Deacon, which I'm okay with that.
Oh, me too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Well, I got. Let me just say this. I got to give a shout out to Belinda over at Soap Dirt because she did a standalone video about all of the horrible things going wrong with The Bold and the Beautiful, and she broke down the storylines that most of us are complaining about.
Really?
Yes, she did an excellent job on that video. And, the whole situation, how some of us don't really care for the Electra and Will situation. And most people liked Sheila and Deacon together, and they're breaking this up, and how Taylor is looking like a hypocrite. And then, we really didn't get a lot of energy out of the Daphne and Carter marriage and honeymoon. And, she broke it down.
Okay, I need to check that out then.
Yeah, so.
And she's telling all truths. This was a very lackluster sweeps for Bold. It usually is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and it's basically some of the same things. And I know that there are outliers, like people that might like Deacon and Taylor. Obviously, we know Jay Money love him some Deacon and Taylor. So, and that's
Oh
cool.
yeah,
There's couples that we relate to and others that we don't, right?
yeah,
But for the most part, I should say, however, for the most part, there are a lot of people that are not feeling the Taylor Deacon thing. They feel it's forced. They fell in love too fast. She covered a lot of good bullet points on where they felt fall short on when it came to, the different storylines there. Did we need another situation with Eric? Because one of the things that Belinda mentioned was how they should have shaped it where the reveal of who Katie's designer was at a fashion show, and he walked out from behind the curtains and the world go ooh and ah. They could have did something more dramatic than brought this with his health. And of course, he's
yeah,
going to go right back over to Forrester. What was that for?
yep. He even said that before they even showed up at the door. I was like, yep, I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. And poor
So this,
Katie, unless they figure out a way to keep the storyline going, you don't have a designer now. What you gonna do?
mm-hmm.
You gonna sue him for the designs because of the fact that you weren't he was in because he was in a contract with Spencer. So do Spencer own those designs? Who's gonna make them? Whatever. So could be interesting, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's no romance.
Mm-hmm.
There's no excitement, no real
Oh,
romance.
that's right, Gail. Belinda did mention that too, that there's no 30 something characters including Hope and Liam because they would have been the next generation. They went from top to bottom. So they dealing with the Brooke, the Erics and stuff like that and went straight to the
Right.
Electra and the RJs and the Wills of the world. What happened to that mid generation?
Like the Thomas, the Zendays,
Correct.
the Steffi and Finn and Hope and Liam. Yeah, that's
Right.
a
They
very
should
good
be
point.
the
They kind of
next
faded to the background.
right, they should be the next ones in line. So, yeah, it was a
Mm.
pretty good video. Y'all gotta check her out. Shout out again to Belinda at Soap Dirt. I usually like to give flowers and give credit where credit is due, and that was a really I could really relate to that because everything that was said in that video was exactly some of the things that I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. All right, let's get into it. So I gotta say, Liam can't hold water, but I guess he didn't want
At
to keep a
all.
secret from his wife.
He lasted 2 weeks.
Yep,
Well, a week and a half. Let me say that.
yep,
Because he just found out.
yep. You are correct. And
So,
he lied because he told Hope, unless this is a crazy rewrite, he told Hope that he didn't know when she asked him. Yes, you did. we have a scene where you had a flashback about finding out that Eric was the designer, and then you pivoted when you were sitting in front of Brooke and Hope at Brooke's house. But then when fast forward to Spencer, when this week Hope said, "Well, when did you find out?" "Oh, I just find out." "Did you know when I asked?" "No, no, no." I'm like, "You still lying."
I mean, I consider like a little lie. Same way she was lying about even being over there, saying like, "Oh, I just haven't seen my aunt Katie and wanted to grab lunch." I'm like, you could have called her.
Right.
You wanted to be nosy and see who the designer was. Just say that.
Exactly. So they all
So
lying.
yeah, telling little lies to each other. But
Mm-hmm.
the secret is out now. Yay! This very lackluster. I feel. Who said that in the chat? Who's just said that in the chat? I wish there was like a huge reveal, like at a fashion show. I think we all were, for the most part, we all were kind of thinking that. And like, I'll keep going back to the fact that Steffi was the one who found Eric's designs. And I thought it meant something that she was the one who recognized it. So if they were to do a fashion show, she would have recognized the sketches like come into light. And she's like, oh my gosh, this is my grandfather's work.
Mm-hmm.
Make it soapy.
Exactly.
Like, make it interesting. This was all a plot point for his health scare again.
Yeah, but the thing is, the way it's not as dramatic as putting him in the hospital, though. It's like, okay, we
Right.
wanted a little shock factor for February, and then let's send Eric back to work over at Forrester. It was like, okay, really? That's what we're doing?
Right. And for him to say, like, I miss working with my son. I miss working with my fabrics. I'm like, no one told you to leave. You still own the
Mm-hmm.
company. Like, forget what Rich said. You founded the company. You own the company. You could have did a limited edition of your line
Mm-hmm.
just so you can, like, have the money go towards the company you founded. You chose to be a employee and get yourself burnt out. Can't use the fabrics that you want. You owe an explanation to Bill, which I knew that was going to happen. He was not going to let Katie run the show at all.
Mm-mm.
And you're running yourself into the ground. He said, like, I'm 80 years old. I can't do this like anymore. Okay, then. You have the ability, even still to this day, to go over to Forrester. You don't have to do the day-to-day operations, but if you want to get your designs out there, you don't need anyone's permission to do a limited edition of your designs.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have the peace of mind and, like, you own the company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, this was just stupid for me. I don't really feel this fashion line is going to last long at all. I never did. I'll be surprised if she keeps her line all the way to May unless she finds a new designer. But having Eric be her designer was a complete bust. And it was once again another health storyline with Eric. Not to say that it shouldn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
but they were building it up as if we were going to get like healthy competition for the Foresters
Mm-hmm.
and have a fashion rivalry. And it's just a big mess. This is why I hate when families are intertwined like this.
Mm-hmm.
They need like a separate fashion house where no one's related to each other. So there's no biases, let it be some legitimate competition. It didn't really need to be Katie with the fashion house. Like, I wanted CJ to bring back the Spectra line, and then eventually Sally might make her way over there. But bring CJ back, bring Amber back. People who don't have immediate emotional ties to the Foresters, so it can actually be an interesting fashion rivalry. It's a show about fashion, and there's no fashions. There's no fashion shows, hardly. Everything is in house.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know. I think they threw this together at the last minute, knowing that sweeps was coming up because originally, why would you have Katie sit down with Deke and offer him a job
Thank
only
you.
to have Eric come in there and say, "Hey, I got retired. I want to keep working. Hire me," and then you kick Deke to the curb. It's like if this was going to move
Yeah.
this quickly, where Eric was going to end up going back to Forrester, we could have just had Deke take the reins from day one and make him this great designer because anything is possible. You can write him the way you want him and blow Forrester at the water.
It
But
would
they
have been
went
so
this
much.
route.
Yeah. Like that poor boy is still working over at the pizzeria with his daddy. And then you have Dylan who was looking for a job, and you're talking to Will. I'm pretty sure you're gonna need some receptionists or like errand girls or something. And you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't think to hire her. That's why I'm like, she's only hired just Eric and a couple of models, and that's pretty much it with Katie's fashion line. It's like, okay, so they're not really investing
Well,
anything
here's the
with her
problem
line.
from the jump. And I'm not saying because you can always outsource whatever business, but she's not a designer. Katie
Right.
is not a designer. She's a business owner who wants to hire other designers to run her fashion house. But I don't understand why they even set that up that way. I mean, I could see if maybe, let me think, one of the people got mad over at Forrester because remember they brought Thomas on and Hope was upset about it. If she decided to break away or somebody else, her brother and her say, "Hey, we're going to do something different." But to give Katie a fashion house when she was over PR, and yet she always mentioned, "Well, I ran Forrester Creations for a little." Okay, fine, but the mass majority of your time has been in public relations. Your husband now own a publishing company. Why didn't y'all go down that route and give Deke this slice of the pie?
Right. Or not to say I don't hate Eric going over there completely. He should have just been a consultant. He should have just mentored
Mm,
Dee.
right.
Since they were saying that his designs were so bad and there was no reason for them to keep him there,
That,
especially even on a trial basis.
that's what Ramon Carter 3121, he is mimicking everything you just said. He said, "Why wouldn't they hire Eric and Deke? Don't you need more than one plus Deke plus Eric could have mentored him."
Exactly. Or how Eric wanted to keep everything a secret. He could have did like pass off the sketches that he already had,
Like a
which doesn't make any
ghostwriter or
sense.
something, like what a ghostwriter would do.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
have those designs be passed off as their deeks. So he
Correct.
can kind of get that recognition and, kind of get that redemption since he couldn't work at the fashion house if he really wanted to. And then, that could be something where now he wants to try to live up to Eric's designs and it falls flat. And then that's when her fashion line ends or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Bold, Brad Bell, whoever's listening, Casey Castle, if you guys are listening, please listen to us. Please listen to the Soapies. This was just not the route that you guys should have went.
Mm-hmm.
Like the reveal for one was really quick. So I'm like, okay, so they're trying to get rid of this fashion storyline faster than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably not going to even get a fashion show
I would have
unless
rathered a crossover, and I'll tell you how. So,
oh,
say for example, Bill gave her a company. Part of it, she's a PR, right? Part of
uh-huh.
create a some sort of fashion publishing side of the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Newman Media and all of that is up in the air on Young and the Restless. They could have had some type of fight to acquire that piece of business.
Oh,
whether it went under Spencer Publications or under Katie's new company. I mean, lately BTG has had more crossovers than Y&R and B&B have had in years. We'll get one every now and then, like Cricket and Danny rock out and stuff like that,
right.
or we'll get Lauren popping up over there to talk about her clothes. But this would have been a really good crossover with everything that's going on with Newman. We could have even had dollar bill billionaire Spencer try to buy out a piece of Newman's companies. This could have been a dogfight between those two.
It, yeah, but that would require great writing and great thought process. And, we're not supposed to be logical about anything with Bold. But and you make a very valid point. Even like, because we have like one crossover with Bold and BTG, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Katie has a new fashion line. We have Danny, who wants to get back into the fashion scene. She could have modeled Katie's fashion line.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been interesting and also kind of like a blast from the past with Carla Mosley. Since she was on Bold previously before. Like, there's just so many different avenues. If I was writing this, that I would not have gone this route. And once again, no shade to the writers. We understand that you guys are taking directive from your higher up, and this is his vision, and it's his show. But we don't like it. We don't like the direction.
It's like we don't like it.
We don't. Like, this was a missed opportunity. They could have recasted CJ and Amber, especially since Deke is on the scene and they were raising Deke as a baby. Like, it could have been a great blast from the past and also create some great rivalry, some fresh perspective. We got the Logan sisters arguing again, and they're going to make up. And then we got Ridge and Eric, griping at each other. Then they're going to make up. Eric already wants to go back to Forrester. So what was it all worth?
Well, that's a good question. And before we kind of make up the sisters make up, Brooke blamed all of this on Katie. How dare you? I want this to end right now. I won't allow it. Da 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 da. I can't believe y'all ran him into the ground. Y'all stole him from us. I'm like, are you delusional or something? Or did you lose a chunk of time? Because y'all had a whole retirement. Remember, Brooke, you ate the cake. You ate the cake.
She ate the cake and got those sad little 5 balloons and had that little Canva sign that she made. Like, so she's a participant to what she did to Eric too. But I mean,
how can you steal somebody that you didn't have? Y'all pushed him out the door.
And she still said that she stole Logan too from her. You heard
just
that.
know it. Girl, just no accountability. That's what that is. Y'all can't take accountability to the fact that y'all pushed a man into retirement who wasn't ready to retire. And when he decided, he came to Katie and said, listen, I still want to design. Let me do it for you. It's Katie's fault and not Eric's and not y'all's either.
And this is why they did this way too fast, because especially with the dialogue with Eric that he wants to crawl back over there. So this whole storyline, all this does is just prove Brooke and Ridge right about his health. Mm-hmm. And this once again gives Brooke and Ridge the win over Katie before she even started. So it kind of defeats the purpose of this feud. Like we had all that great little commentary with Brooke and Katie going back and forth over the Logan name, and we thought, okay, that we got a little something going. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then throw in Eric into the mix, and he said he wants to give the Foresters healthy competition. And flash forward, I miss working with my family. I want to work with my suppliers and work, with my fabrics and yada yada yada. And then they're talking about his health and stuff again. So what was it more?
Girl, he was butthurt. All he needed Ridge was to tell him, "I'm sorry, I want you back." They could have did that a long time ago, and we
They
could have did
did.
something else.
They did. Because there was a scene after the retirement where Ridge was feeling regret. Eric was already there in his office. He apologized. He said, "I forgive you. I'm going to let you run the show," and that was it.
Mm-mm.
Now, I understand wanting to prove a point
Mm-hmm.
about respecting your elders, absolutely, but this was not the best route for you to do it, because you're choosing to be an employee when you're a whole owner who could have called the shots on how your line should go,
Mm-hmm.
because you're trying to follow Katie's vision and, well, Bill's vision, really. When you own a company, you have everything you can think of at your disposal at Forrester Creations. You don't have to work with Reg if you don't want to. Just do a
Mm-hmm.
line on your own.
Yep. I agree.
Oh,
I agree. And, it's just, I don't know. There's several storylines. And, as I mentioned to SD's video, it just doesn't make any sense. And yeah, because we got to talk about the whole thing with Ivy and Electra and Dylan and Will. So obviously, we now know Dylan is truly interested in Will because she has these inner voices about how she feel, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, However, Electra is upset that Will won't move her out of the house. Okay, Electra, you put her there. You the
Right.
one
And,
put her there.
and it's not your house.
It's not your house, and you're the one that did the recommendation. Like, hey, why don't you stay with Will? He got a space up above. When you are a forester and your grand uncle owns all this land. He got cabins. People done stayed in his little side houses. That's where Luna was living or staying or whatever. Who was, no, that was Zende. Zende got a spot
Right.
over there. There's rooms all through the house. There's private spaces, and you couldn't ask your grand uncle to do it, but you put a woman at your boyfriend's house and then get mad because they're walking around each other. And Will, I gotta say, you were the one that asked her to dance, and she did it.
Yeah.
You know, you, why won't you place her somewhere else?
That was my other thought too. Um, is there fault with Will and Electra? Yes. I mean, as far as the dancing thing, she needed to put a little tutu on it and twist and turn and try to show all this flexibility in front of this guy. And then whenever he has his flashbacks, that's exactly what he's thinking of.
Right.
Um, but like the fact that Ivy like blew everything out of proportion, saying that, oh, she was wearing her teeny tiny bikini um, in front of him. I'm like, they live at the beach. So, and on top of that, he also went swimming too. So she can't wear her bikini now. Okay,
Girl,
even though she was,
Ivy and Electra want her to stay locked up in that room.
which is so
Stupid.
stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, if that were the case, why don't you guys, with the resources that you have, get her an apartment or find her a safe place for her to stay? If you
Mm-hmm.
don't want her to be all around, I was about to say Nick, not Nick, but Will.
Well,
Will. If you don't want her to be around Will like that, like
mm-hmm.
that's the part I'm not understanding. And what I was also saying earlier about like how Katie couldn't offer this girl a job, like anything, but
Mm-hmm.
y'all want to complain, and then Poison Ivy is just a bitter auntie who got nothing better else to do, and she wants her niece to be just as single and miserable as she is. She could have stayed out of this entirely.
Mm-hmm.
If she was so mad and so butthurt about Will and Dylan, she could have confronted them both right in their faces.
Yep.
Like, but the lengths that she's going to is giving bitter auntie.
Very bitter
Like,
auntie. Like she ain't got nothing else to do.
like she probably got tired about hearing all of these stories about Electra being in love, and she had someone for Valentine's Day and had, all of these moments. He's saving the day, and meanwhile, Ivy's been single for how many years?
Right. And I
He
mean,
tried to go after Liam.
right. I was just gonna say that she tried to ask Liam, and he was like, "Nope, I won't hope." Oh, that was the other thing that was in her video about the fact that Liam and Hope is pretty boring right now, and we hardly get to see them anyway. So.
I keep forgetting about them. They've been
Mm-hmm.
fading to the background. Like they're more interesting with other people.
Yeah, I
Like,
kind of would be interested in seeing Liam and Ivy. And I gotta
mm,
say, what is her name?
who?
Ivy.
Oh, the actress Ashley
Ashley
Brewer.
Brewer. Yes, she is pregnant, you guys.
Yay!
So she did get married recently to her husband, and they are now expecting. Because who was that? Keish. I didn't see anything across the internet about it, and I didn't want to speculate, especially when you talk about somebody looking pregnant, right?
Yeah, we were
And
talking about
mm,
like I think she had asked like, does she look pregnant? I'm like, yeah, you can definitely tell around the chin and the way that she's being covered up with the blazer and stuff. And on top of that, they filmed like 3 weeks ahead, so she's far along enough to where she did the interview now to
right,
announce her pregnancy.
yep.
So good for her. Hope for a
Mm-hmm.
happy, healthy pregnancy
Had the
and
little,
healthy
she got the
baby.
little baby coming.
Good, good for her. See, that's proper. I support that.
Girl, you so crazy. Come on, those proper.
I
Uh,
mean, the way Ivy is moving is not proper, and I'm curious to know what is she doing to where she had to threaten Daphne not to say anything.
yeah, that promo looks very, very interesting. I'm like, what in the world
It
is going
is
on?
like, do you feel like they're changing the Ivy character a little bit?
Yeah, it look like they're making her a little bit more darker, and I'm like, okay, y'all looking for something for her to do, and now you're gonna turn her into this whole person who's, first of all, these kids are like 20 something, and you're almost what I would say mid 30s. Why are you
Yeah,
inserting in yourself? And I get it, that's your niece and all, but why? Why are you moving through these
right.
young kids?
Like, exactly, and that's my thing. Like, they're not gonna stay consistent. They're young. They're gonna they're like interchangeable dolls. They're gonna be with one of the people, and then they're gonna switch up and with the other people. It's not anything to really worry about or stress out about. I
Mm-hmm.
understand you want to stick up for your niece, but you had that moment to confront Will, since you had no problem stalking his house
Right.
when you're supposed to be sick. And
Exactly.
So you have no problem doing that. Well, then confront her boyfriend. There's no reason for her to blackmail this girl to get out of town. That is insane. And the threat that she made Daphne, this is what I was saying last week. Daphne's days are numbered. I can see them writing something where Ivy accidentally unalives Daphne
Yeah, that's
or
crazy.
something.
I hope not. That's crazy, girl.
Yeah, I I don't think uh, she and Carter are going to have a child or their marriage is going to last long at all. I can't see that happening.
Wow. Well, I hope that it don't go that way, but oof. She needs some business. That's all I gotta say. It's like, girl, get out of these. These are kids.
She needs some friends. Like the only friend that she has is her niece. And I think someone in the chat said, well, she can hang out with Steffi. Steffi really don't have any friends. She barely hangs out with Daphne.
Mm-mm.
It was only till recently we got to see her with more scenes with her and Daphne.
Right. Exactly.
Like Liam is more of her friend than anything.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, girl, do we have anything else to cover with them?
They didn't give us anything
They
else.
didn't give
So
us. Yeah, it was the most of the week was about Eric, and then we finally get to the Friday episode, and we got a little bit with the Will and Electra situation. Yeah, that girl said it's either me or her. Either you move her out the house or we breaking up. Cause she said if it was a dude, you would have issues with that. Well, you won't have no problem with RJ Forrester kissing you in the mouth, huh?
oh, I must have missed that part.
Girl, that's in the promo.
I must have
Yeah,
missed that
girl.
part.
RJ kisses Electra and Will walks in on it.
That's a little too close for comfort.
Right. So now you ain't got nothing to say because how do you let somebody that close to your face?
Right. And on top of that, Will and Dylan didn't really do anything.
They
You're
ain't
up
even
and
now. I mean, that
kissing.
whole thing with the dancing, yeah, that's a little unnecessary. Why would you ask this girl to dance for you, right? But that was
Right.
about it. I mean, her going to the beach and walking on her bikini. And was she supposed to go to the beach with a tweed suit? I mean,
Right.
come on,
But
Ivy.
Electra kissing a whole other guy, I feel is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since she's thinking about like regretting, giving him the ultimatum and everything. And Ivy's like, "Oh no, you did the right thing. You should have done that."
Yeah, but she
That's such
said
a
she did that to help save her relationship, yet you threw Will under the bus too. So,
right,
which one is it? Are you telling her Will has broken? Because she said Will has betrayed you in the past before, yet you want to save her relationship. With who? Because if you saying that this man is betraying her and did it in the past, yet you want to save the two of them being together, you're talking out of both sides of your neck.
right, yeah. She is giving bitter auntie this year.
You said bitter, auntie.
I mean, she's so mad that everyone's coupled up, and she just wants her niece all to herself,
Mm-hmm.
trying
Yeah,
to
I
dictate
know
what goes on.
Aisha was like they cousins though. I mean, they definitely made a point in the script with RJ saying that on paper legally they're like cousins because Ridge was adopted by Eric. But the whole thing is that they're, not blood related and of course Bell is going to use that as a way to create whatever storyline he wants to create. So, yeah, I know Aisha.
Yeah,
Yep. So, all right, moving on, moving on, moving on. We got BTG.
yeah,
I don't even know where to start. Well, Valentine's Day was delayed. So we got their Valentine's Day episode on Monday because Valentine's,
Mhm.
everybody else did their Valentine's episode on Friday. We got theirs on Monday, and Vanessa wanted to tell Joey to let down his inhibitions. She blindfolded him, put on a whole costume, including a black wig or a brown wig, and yeah. I don't have no
She,
problem with that. I think things like that keep stuff creative, but both parties have to, obviously consent to that, but yeah.
oh, he consented to that.
Oh,
The fact
absolutely.
is the way that she was able to tie this man, blindfold this man, and
Mm-hmm.
he losing his mind. He's like, I need to know, you can't keep me tied up like this. Like people could come after me and I can't protect you and yada yada yada. She's like, the police is right there, security, everything is right there. You're okay. You
Mm-hmm.
said this is your safe space.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, okay, look at her with the brunette wig and the little dominatrix like get up. I'm like, okay, she definitely didn't do this with Doug at all. This is a whole completely different side to Vanessa.
Yep. I agree. And she's having fun with it. Listen, here's my thing. Stuff like this, I have no problem with it. You behind closed doors with your significant other and y'all keeping your relationship spicy. So, why not create or do something spicy for your significant other, whatever that may be? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, they've been spicy elsewhere, all over the casino, on the poker
Right.
table, against the wall. And we know Vanessa has a spicy spirit with all the men that she was been with
Mm-hmm.
behind her husband's back.
Exactly.
So this is right up her alley. She
Yeah.
probably been waiting to wear that outfit.
I know, right? All right, so we had a lot of different Valentine's little scenarios going on. We had a scene between Eva and her guy Isaiah, because they are
Mm-hmm.
official couple. And I will say I did appreciate this scene. I know, outside of the whole Eva dynamic of who she is, but I did like the simplicity of the scene because her mom called what Isaiah did low effort, but it was actually what Eva wanted. She wanted to keep it simple. He gave her this cute, like, handmade necklace, and she enjoyed having a little small dinner at Orphe Jean's. And her mom was like, how dare you? You spent all these Valentines without nobody, and you finally get somebody, and he can't, take you here. Then she was like, this is what I wanted. And that's what counts. It's nothing wrong if a person chooses and wants to do a grand gesture. But if y'all want to keep
Mm-hmm.
it simple, like a cute little picnic or a special spot that might to everybody else be insignificant, but it has special meaning to you, why not? As long as you're spending that quality time and that love for each other. You know what I mean? So I really like that scene in that moment with those two.
Yeah. And plus, they just became a couple. Like, you don't have to spend all that kind of money just to prove something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and on top of that, it wasn't any of Leslie's business, which I
Exactly.
wish they would just say that.
Well, she was
And
hating too because she ain't got nobody. That's why she called Malone and he was busy and she was pissed.
he was busy with his wife.
Boy, he was at work. Remember?
Um,
He called from the station saying that he got to work the night shift. And she was like,
um,
"Oh, well, you can meet me here, there, and whatever." And he was like, "I ain't gonna be able to get away." And she got mad and hung up on
I mean, that's what she is.
him.
I mean, he had other commitments outside of her.
So, she went home, put on her bonnet, and broke the mirror.
Sure did. I'm like, that's bad luck, Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to
Maybe
hear
that
that.
signifies something because they're diving back deep into the whole thing with Laura, and Kat is going to spearhead that, according to the spoilers. So,
Praise the Lord. Get justice for Laura, please.
yep.
I'm, I'm so
Um,
sick of them ignoring that.
we did have another sweet Valentine with Anita and Vernon, and Anita serenaded her husband. I
Yeah.
thought that was cute, and it,
See,
it brought back memories because obviously that song, they gave a whole thing where he was out of town on, with with his politics and things like that, and she didn't think that she was going to be able to spend time, and he flew in for one night to be with her on that day before he could go back out.
it was so sweet.
I know,
Like
right?
they one of my favorite couples. I love them. Um, like Victor and Nikki wish they could have something like this.
Mm-hmm. I know, right?
Um, yeah, this is couple goals. Like I don't want anything to happen to this couple. I
Me,
love them both together.
yeah, I agree. I really agree. However, we also had a scene over at the country club with um what's that girl name?
Leslie,
No, no. With Kat and
Anastasia.
her mom,
Oh,
because of the fact that, they didn't have dates, cuz she called Carlton in to go out with him. And Carlton was like, I already saw that, but maybe next time. And said, look, I got to go see a patient, which kind of got her like, oh, okay, you know, because Shanice had told, oh no, Ashley had told him to kind of pull back a little bit. So she ended up at the club with her daughter, Nicole, and
mm-hmm.
both of them texting folks under the table, So
What was Tomas's excuse?
he was working.
Oh, well,
Yep.
happens. But
Carlton. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
so that was a cute little scene with those two.
Yep. And then they finally admitted that they were texting their guys or whatever. Um, Marty and Smitty was over at the club as well on their date, and um, Martin gave him a trip, and he was like, "I can't go. We're gonna have to wait until."
Oh,
he,
I,
he was not
um,
happy about that, and he was like, "I just started this gig, and I gotta see it through," and so
no, you don't.
no, you don't.
Like you're okay. You can contact Jacob and get the update. I'm pretty sure it's okay.
Um, Also that night we had Shanice dressed up in that dress that Ted gave her, and then Danny showing up over there as well. And Danny didn't know that Ted was that serious about Shanice, especially since she had to go back and run tell her sister, "Is this somebody we should hate?" I'm like, "Girl, your mama then moved on with two dudes. I mean, your sister, then moved on with two dudes, and Ted can't move on with somebody."
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand why Danny did that. Because it would be a whole different story if she started like hanging out with her sister's ex-husband and the chick that he is now dating. I kind of get like she wanted to try to give that respect, but I will say the way that Nicole handled it was very respectful. Keisha pointed out some stuff in the chat about how people were mad at Nicole for being an adult.
Okay, I'm
And
confused. Go back to what you were saying about, you say you understood that about her dating her ex and the respect level. What do you mean by that?
no, I'm saying that Danny went to her sister
Mm-hmm.
knowing, if she were to build a friendship up with Shanice, since Andre and Ted are related, so they're going to have run-ins with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they might do couple things, like Andre invited Ted and Shanice over for dinner, just out of respect. Hey, are you okay with this, sis? Like, is this a person? Now, I think Danny was being a little dramatic. Like, is this a person we should be hating? But I understand the tone. Like, hey, are you okay with this? There's one thing for Nicole to be dating, but your family, hanging out with your ex-husband, some people might have an issue with that. So she was trying to check the temperature with that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think she really don't have too much standing on that because I mean, Ted and Carlton are BFFs for years, and you have
Yeah,
no
that's true.
problem bouncing from him to his best friend. So you ain't asked for no. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't give her that one. I'm like, and I get where you're coming from. You know, that would be the respectful thing to do. But Nicole would be a hypocrite if she would say, "Yeah, girl, no, I don't think, don't hang out." You had no problem jumping to your husband's best friend, so cut it out.
Yeah, but I love the way that Nicole handled it,
Mm-hmm.
and the people online didn't.
Mm-hmm.
They rather her be mad at Danny, and it's
Mad
been
at
some
Danny
interesting
for what?
comments, because they should be angry at Ted and angry at Shawnee's, and Shawnee's introduced Nicole to Kyle just so she can have Ted. Like, there's been so many different narratives
Yeah,
painted to
girl,
where
I can't even
people
wrap my head around that.
people are angry at Shanice, people are angry at Nicole for dating, pretty much,
Okay, I guess.
and not sticking with Carlton. Which I'm like, she doesn't have to do anything she doesn't want to do. So
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to think. Oh, we also got to see Derek having a little lunch date this week too. But he looked like he didn't want to be there. It looked like he was forcing himself to do it.
it sure did. At first, I was like, "Oh my god, he he's listening to us. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's not. He don't want to be a stalker no more. Yay!"
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a good first step. I thought that the lady who kissed him in Ashley's apartment,
Had better
I thought they
chemistry.
had
Mm-hmm.
great chemistry. But he said, "Oh well, they're better off as friends." I'm
I'm
like,
like, oh, right.
Hey, missed opportunity, writers. But whoever this girl is, I mean, it's a good start. It's a start in the right direction. I just want him
Mm-hmm.
to just move on and move forward.
Okay. Yep. All right. So then we also had a situation where um Bill is trying to find Haley's attacker, and he's going through so many different lengths, including putting Joey in this situation. And of course, Joey wants Randy, who is also close to this situation because this is all a ruse put together between Haley and what's that girl?
Lynette.
Lynette, right? Um, and he's like, I don't know about this, boss. And he was like, yeah, you better know about it. Go figure out who did this. Which also brings us to the conversation between Lynette and Randy. And Lynette was like threatening this man. And he like, listen, I'm going down. Y'all going down too.
Love
So,
that. But
because
I
Lynette thought
feel
she was calling the shots.
no, she a pretty face, but Randy made it very clear, no, you do not run me.
Mm-hmm.
And it also goes to show that amongst this trio, they all would backstab each other.
Yep. I agree.
So, but I feel what's going to end up happening is Randy is going to be the fall guy. because Lynette has that ring. She has not pawned that ring or anything, at least as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to plant that ring on Randy since she's close in proximity to him. And Haley is going to say that it was him. I think she's going to backstab her cousin to cover up her tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So the only issue with that is Randy can let it all out if he wanted to. So this is going to be really interesting, but the walls are closing in on Haley, and even Tomas is catching up to all of this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he confronted her and she played the victim and tried to throw his job in his face and all of it. This whole thing is becoming a mess. Because technically Tomas is right. It's like, why were you out there delivering papers when this is my case in the first place? And nobody tell you to go over there, which means that there's something else going on. Because this is an unordinary, an unordinary, yeah, unordinary
Mm-hmm.
situation where this stuff is moving. And why are y'all moving this way? Because they know each other,
Right.
and they playing in Bill's face, and he's running around looking for some mystery mugger when this is all a setup because that girl want attention.
Mm-hmm. Which I think he brought this up earlier. Like, do you want attention from this man, or do you want to unalive this man? Because
Mm-hmm.
she started poisoning him back in October.
Mm-hmm.
We're reaching the end of February now.
Right.
And they touched on his lab results. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what they're going to make of that. I don't know if she's still dosing this man. But what is the game plan? Yeah, they definitely written her into a corner a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless she becomes pregnant, or unless Lynette moves in and tries to go after Bill for herself, something has to move forward. That's why I feel like this week has kind of been a little bit of a filler, which is okay because BTG has been on a roll when it comes to storylines, but there's some stories that kind of just stayed, you know, a little stagnant, little movement, but still entertaining though.
Right.
Haley's most of all.
Yep, I agree. I agree. What about the situation between Grayson and Ashley when Ashley tried to come up with all of these things for his mom and he was not happy about it? And then he came back obviously and apologized, but
I'm trying to remember, what did she tell him?
well, go ahead.
It's like physical therapy or something.
So her trying to be helpful, Ashley gives Grayson potential assisted living homes for his mom, but he come back and he said the reason that he's acting that way because he didn't have the money to put her in a facility, and that he's exhausted all of the possibilities. And then she comes back and apologized for moving too fast, and he apologized for being a jerk and all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. It
And
makes
then he
perfect
goes into
sense.
the whole victim mode of saying, how is it that a grown man can't take care of his mom? But I think there's something else with this plasma ring that he's involved in. I I think he's somewhere in the middle of this mess, which brings us to Jacob, because he's undercover, he's moving out. I think we had a scene quickly between him and Naomi. They was like, let's make the best of it. I think she's gonna get pregnant. So
You
that's just my
think?
thought. Huh?
I I I would assume this girl would be like on like the strongest form of birth control after her last scare.
I mean, you would
So
think.
I think there's something to him moving out. Me personally, I feel that she's about to step out on him because
Yeah, but with who?
I don't know.
I mean, who's available that she could step out with? Not Derek,
It
because
doesn't.
she can't
It
stand
doesn't have to
him.
be a single man.
Uh,
It could even be an attached man. I think it's gonna be one random hookup, And maybe that one time she didn't take her birth control, and maybe that's how she gets pregnant. I don't think it's going to be by Jacob at all.
Mm, okay.
They're already setting the tone where he's already moved out, even though this is an undercover thing. But I don't know, that gives her the opportunity. Someone can come over, check on her. She's able to be honest about the BRCA gene that she inherited, something that she hasn't done with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And that same person she feels vulnerable with, one thing leads to another. I feel something like that might happen with her.
Okay. I mean, anything is possible when it comes to the soaps, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anything is possible. So, okay. Let me see. Trying to see what else we had. Let me come out of there. And then we got the situation with Leslie at the club. So Vernon and Anita decided to go and have some dinner or lunch, I think it was. And because Leslie won that Winterfest prize that she paid $10,000 for or whatever, which comes with a lunch with the Articulette, she wanted a whole sit down trying to have a conversation about the mother that she never knew. And Anita and them, they was like, listen, let me just give you your money back. And she was like, no, no, no. And the process of it all, because Anita's fighting breast cancer, she had a dizzy spell because she was feeling queasy, which is why when the Wade, the guy, the head of the kitchen guy, was offering all these different dishes, she was cringing, you know. And then when she got up, she toppled over, which, we'll talk about today's episode, but Leslie was just doing too much. It's like when you tell her to stop, she push harder.
Yeah. It's another character, like you mentioned earlier, where they don't know what to do with her.
Yep.
Because her daughter's pretty much moving forward with her life, and she has her man. Leslie has all this money. I mean, she's doing whatever with this clinic, but that's it. She's still playing a side chick to Timu Shaf.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's pretty much it. Ted has moved on. She has no real reason to bicker and argue with Nicole anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, where does Leslie go from here? Like the only storyline I care about with her is Laura getting justice.
Right. I agree. So, but she was just being over the top annoying. Just, oh my gosh. And they kept telling her, can we have our lunch in peace? The girl sit down. I'm like,
Mm. But Tasha, or is it Trisha? Is it Tasha or Trisha?
oh, you talking about the actress?
Yeah,
Trisha.
Trisha, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she gets her Emmy nomination. I know the nominations are going to come up pretty soon, but she plays an antagonist so incredibly well,
Mm-hmm.
like to where it gets like the viewers upset and annoyed and everything with her. That's some talent,
Yes, it
because it's one
is.
thing to fade into the background, but she still sings. I can't even like hate Leslie, but I love the actress. I love
Mm-hmm.
her.
Yeah, she's amazing. Trisha Mann Grant.
Yeah, she's been in other projects and she's played a similar character on a different show. I can't think of the name of it, but she's just a phenomenal actress.
Yes, she
So
is.
I
I
really cannot wait to see the Emmy nominations for this show.
Yeah, I agree with that, girl. It's gonna be interesting to see what come out of BTG for Emmys.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I think we already talked about Jacob moving out.
He looked good undercover.
I know, right? Um, We also had a conversation between Bill and Chelsea because Chelsea feels that Madison was going to resent her for not going to Denmark. Then she get a call out the blue about being able to study here there in Maryland. And I'm like, did Bill do something?
Probably.
Yeah, but what type of pull did you have? You know somebody who got a program and then you say, hey, let this girl in?
That's the power of money. He probably got someone to look into it and threw some money at it, and yeah, I I wouldn't put it past Bill, but I mean, technically his daughter doesn't have to leave, and Madison can stay in town, and so he's able to use his detective skills and use his money when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to keeping Chelsea in town, but you can't do that with the woman you sleep next to,
Right.
and you got all that money to spend. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Alrighty. Haley was also surprised at the attention that she's getting from his daughters, and she's milking it for everything she got.
I know. That's
She's
why when this reveal comes out, oh, especially Naomi, when she finds out, she better get Haley all the way together.
mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm wondering, like, how this is going to end, because eventually they're going to put Bill and Danny back on the path together.
Right.
And the question is when. And since it's kind of dragging out, maybe towards the end of season 2, I don't know. But I don't really see Danny and Audrey lasting long at all. I hate that she's using him, but
Mm-hmm.
what is the result going to be with Haley at this point?
That's a
And
good question.
his daughters are going to hate her. Everyone's going to hate her and have their pitchforks out. Like, I don't know. This is where I wish Haley and Leslie would have teamed up. It would have been very interesting story
Well,
dialogue.
that's the thing. They did write that part to the script, and they had Haley turn it down.
Yeah, I'm like, she turned it down way too soon, but
Yes, she
it's
did.
okay. Maybe they might circle back around to when it benefits both of the characters.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Alrighty, let's see what else we had.
Oh,
What
that's
happened?
right. Brooklyn Renna asked, "What do you ladies think about next week of them showing Isaiah and Jacob bumping into each other?"
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting because that could blow his cover. And then my question is, why are you over there?
Mm-hmm. Thought you
Mm-hmm.
turned over a new leaf.
Right. So are you not being honest and you part of this whole thing, or were you just passing through?
That was my thing. Unless what Leslie said got to him, and he probably wanted to make some extra money to impress Eva. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Alrighty. Oop, hold on one second. I lost my little notes. Okay, there we go. Anita also decided that after all of the rumors, because Anastasia, somebody called her on the phone, they're asking questions on why Anita toppled over that table. And why do people automatically go to she was drunk? I mean,
Yeah,
you don't have a history of that as part of this whole community. And then all of a sudden, you kind of lose your balance and y'all go to drunk.
yeah, that was incredibly messy. Um, and it could have been any other reason, unless Anita has a pass that an Anastasia can pull some receipts out,
Mm hmm.
something. But yeah, that was very messy, and I forget who got her together, but um, this is why I
That
cannot
was
wait for the blow.
Nicole.
Yeah. who got her together.
Mm-hmm.
I I cannot wait to see more of the Bel Clairs. I want to see the whole entire family. If they're going to be messy like this, then I'm here for it. I'm perfectly fine, even though she was wrong for what she said. But I'm here for it though. Mm-mm.
Let's see. Okay. I'm trying. Oh, Mona. Mona trying to
Oh
flirt with
no,
Randy, girl.
I don't blame her. This man takes some really great pictures online. I'm like, Randy is a fine looking man. Oh wow.
Yeah,
I don't blame
but
Mona.
I know. I guess she wanted to get him together by having him go to church with her.
Uh, mm, that's not a church going individual, even though
Mm-hmm.
anyone can go to church. I get that, but not this type of guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think she
He's
barking up the wrong tree. And
he's very
it's
handsome.
because of what he's involved in, you know?
Right,
That's the problem. Other than that, he's a really attractive guy, and if he's interested, she's interested. Okay, go for it. But that guy is knee deep in so much stuff. The stuff with Joey, the
right,
stuff with Haley and Lynette. Yeah, girl, I don't think you want them kind of drama, the chaos.
right. I agree with that.
Mm-mm.
But he might be fun though. Who knows? The actor is very handsome. I saw a little tidbit about him. He's about to do a movie with Michael B. Jordan, so he's got some interesting
Oh,
projects.
he got some motion going on, huh?
Yes, he does.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, so I'm like, okay, I can't wait to see more of this actor. They need to keep him around. He's
Ooh.
definitely a good-looking man.
Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Let me see. Oh, and Randy almost his cover almost got blown because when Haley and Bill walked into the bar and he was sitting over there with Joey, he's like, "Is that Sammy?" And she acted like she didn't know who that was. I'm like, the walls are closing.
Yep, this is getting messy. She better come up with a better plan and saying, I don't know, and try to at least get Lynette in order to some degree because she's a loose cannon because she can blow up the whole operation and probably take your man.
Yep.
Both
Here's the
her
other.
and Randy under bus.
Yep. And I mean, he told her, because she had the same reaction as Lynette had. Like, oh, since you the one that they got looking for the person, we in a good position. He like, mm-mm. He told Haley the same thing. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. And I mean, with Joey, because Joey is like, if you don't get me what I want, I'll get what I want. So,
Right. And for all that Randy knows, he could be followed. Like Joey had him followed before and bugged his phone and everything.
mm-hmm.
That's not a position you want to be in. And Joey can even go as far as having Haley's stuff bugged just to get the result. Or
Mm-hmm.
look at the cameras because it said it happened after like outside of Orphe Jeans or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Which I'm
think.
surprised the police didn't look at the police camera. I mean the
Well,
security
that's
camera.
what Lynette was looking around saying that there were the area where she punched her was no cameras were over there. That's why she did it in that particular space. So, unless there was some cameras on the building somewhere that she didn't see, that's the only way that they're going to catch up with her. But again, that put Haley in a corner.
Yep. So
So,
she better cope the plane really, really quickly. I think Randy's going to be the fall guy, and then either he's going to out Haley or Lynette's going to out Haley.
mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. Alrighty, let me see. Did we cover? Let me Cause this it be so much going on Beyond the Gates. Yeah, I
It
think
sure
we
is. It's so
did.
nice to have storylines.
Yeah, I think we did. Anita make the huge decision because of all of the rumors to go public with her breast cancer. And I'm kind of glad that because this is October and February are awarenesses months
Mm-hmm.
for breast cancer. If you notice, if you're a basketball fan, the women's side, they wear pink every February from junior college all the way up to the NC2A. They give acknowledge to February being a month for breast cancer awareness as well. So this was the perfect month to write this into the script for her to do this reveal to the world. We get to see her next week with Gail and all that, which I'm telling you, that's I BTG have more crossovers than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
yep.
'Cause I think that she's doing a Gail King crossover or something.
Yeah, that's why I was just saying that she gonna sit down with Gail. And,
That's so awesome. And it just shows like the reach that the show has made already.
right.
Um,
And I
I
agree,
was,
and that's what I was saying. If to make this all interesting, especially since Belle owned the other two soaps, why not have some major crossovers? They could have spread this whole coup or this whole Newman acquisition problems over to Bill, who, hey, we're looking for a media company. Let's go after Newman Media in General City. They didn't do that. So,
you know,
yeah.
and then wasn't there supposed to be a crossover with Chelsea Cat being like marketed or sold at Fenmore's or something?
I thought so. So I don't know what happened to that, but
Yeah, they made it a big deal, didn't they? About
eh,
Tracy Bergman going over there or something?
something like that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
Or maybe it's still coming. I don't know. We're so behind.
right.
Other areas of the world is ahead of us at about what a few episodes or so. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, 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 crazy.
So if you guys watched any of the Canada episodes, you can share the wealth so we can watch those extra episodes.
Right. We want to
You
know
know.
too.
Yeah. I
Okay. So I think didn't we cover everything now?
think we did.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm just trying to make sure because a lot of we'd be like, oh, we forgot about this piece. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let me switch the screen and we can move to our final segments. All right, flip the script. Who's taking several seats? Star of the week, pickle of the week, and the Simpo Olympics. All right, so for
All right.
Y&R, what you flipping?
I would have flipped Billy actually uh actually I think he did a pretty good job when it came to Victoria. I would have flipped him getting his both of his companies back from Sally.
Ah, I agree with that one. 1000%. How you gonna break up with me and walk out the door with two companies I gave you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he should have been. But then, like I say on Monday, it kind of sounds like Billy is still part of the leadership of that whole thing from the way she described it to Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What I would flip is Audra calling Sally out for that lie. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
it's like, girl, you just sit up here and told me that that man abandoned you when you cut ties with him, and that man gave you two companies. I mean, we wouldn't have none of this if it wasn't for him and his mama.
Right.
At least give him some grace. I'm not telling you to get back with him, but you can't be going around here lying, making yourself look like the victim. And
Yep.
then I also would have had Billy play dirty and say, "Listen, cuz that's the thing. Victoria, Victor, Adam, they all are playing dirty. Billy, Jack, and the rest of them are just like sitting ducks, like, oh, well, I'll just keep living my life. You need to be proactive and get with your own kids to protect them. If she's going to do something, then you're the other parent. You need to do something to protect them kids from what's happening. And if that
Yep.
means not signing that paperwork or having a conversation, they're not babies, having a conversation
Right.
with them. And I'm not saying use them kids like Victoria want to use them, but somebody need to tell them what's going on because they're gonna be confused. Like, look, we just got here. We didn't get comfortable in this school, and now you want to send us off to boarding school again? And then she like, oh, once they meet their old friends, they'll be fine. No, you want it to go that way.
Yeah. You want to shoo them away, just like everyone else. They shoo their kids away to send them to boarding school.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of wish Billy would be a little bit instead of being scared, and I don't think he's scared because for a minute he was. Let Victoria get up under his skin. He need to take his own proactive actions and take care of his kids because that girl there is on the warpath. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys follow me on Instagram, but I put her in a whole witch costume. I did post that picture.
Yep. It was accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Even on Monday's episode, it was very
Oh
accurate.
yeah, I gotta finish watching that. I gotta check on the hubby too in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And then what we flipping on bold?
Um, Sweeps.
Put the whole thing. We just gonna flip.
Oh, sweeps. There was nothing
Uh,
I can think of specifically besides, an interesting sweep.
I would flip the whole situation of Will telling Electra, well, you put her in my house. So if you want her to go somewhere, you find her somewhere else to go. You put her there. And then when all this transpired, the girl walk around, go to the beach. Yes, I need to take accountability for asking her to dance. But you put her in my house.
Yep. She could be at your house.
Right. Why not give her a place to stay over at the I was going to say Newman Estate, over at the Forester Estate.
Yep.
Y'all got all that room and space and cabins and stuff over there. Put her over there and then you can keep an eye on her.
Right. I agree. All of that room, all of that space. I'm pretty. Eric doesn't mind anyone come to his GCAC.
Girl, tell me about it. He didn't have all kind of people stay at his house.
Oh yeah.
So, what you flipping on BTG?
Um, I hmm, really can't think of anything. I think it was actually a fairly decent week.
I would have hoped that Billy, Lord, Joey would have thrown this whole Sammy situation under the bus. This is crazy. And I know
Yeah.
he feel that he's going to have to owe, meaning Randy is going to have to owe him as many lies as, he's telling to keep his cover. But I'm like, man, throw him under the bus. Because he's screwing
I
you
love him.
over. And Haley is too. All of them are screwing Bill and Joey over. So,
Yeah, I agree.
all right. Who taking seats on Y&R?
Oh, Victoria, Chelsea.
I'm going to give Sally a seat for being
Yeah.
mad about Billy taking the company, but then when she get the proceeds, she is a happy as a lark, changing names and everything.
Oh, and Kane can get a seat too, where we forget
Yeah, girl.
with
Kane
his
definitely.
stupidity.
I know, right? Yep. All right. Seats on bold. Brooke. Oh my God, Brooke.
Yep, that was the main one. Brooke, Eric, he can get a seat for me too. He knew better. He knew his health was was on the brink. He didn't even put himself in this position at all.
I'm gonna give a seat to Electra as well. I mean, not Electra, at Ivy as well, because you talking at the side of your neck. One moment you protecting, you want to help her save her relationship, yet you throw the man in the relationship under the bus. What are you talking about?
Yep,
Girl, go over there, sit down, think about what you're trying to say, and then come back.
yep, I agree.
All right, seats on BTG.
Um, Haley's gonna get a seat for me. As much as I don't really care for Tomas like that, the way she almost tried to get this man fired, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
but it fits into her role. So yeah, she can definitely take a seat.
Okay. I'm gonna give Anastasia a seat for being rude and disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I gotta mention that Nicole was floored about the escort conversation until Vanessa revealed that she was talking about her son. So now Samantha has a date. And she was like, "Ain't he in college?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She like 16 and he's like what, maybe 19, 20? I don't know.
That would my family wouldn't be okay with that.
I know. It was kind of, and I mean, obviously Nicole cleared it by saying he's your date, not your boyfriend, but still, you know. Um,
That's
what you say?
so that age difference. If he's 20, yeah, that's definitely not going to work
Yeah,
out.
and she's 16. Did y'all run that past Martin and Smitty? They might not want their 16-year-old to go out with a 20-year-old college kid.
Yeah.
Even if it is Vanessa's son. And I'm hoping that this brings his sister with him. Because remember,
Yes. Where is Deanna at?
right, because Vanessa did happen to say that, like, with bringing him back, it'll hopefully bring the sister back too. So I'm like, okay, well, hopefully we get the new character of the sister too. So,
Me too. Yes.
all right, star of the week, Y&R goes for me, Mr. Jason Thompson. Yay!
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. That's a really good one. He had some fiery scenes, comedic scenes. I loved everything that he's done early this week.
Girl, that doggone scene with him and Nicholas was priceless.
I'm gonna watch the reel that you made on your page. Y'all need to check that out. I was cracking up. It is really good. It is so good.
Oh my God, it was fun. And especially when I threw that clip in there where Steve walked up to the and said, "Shut your stupid." But anyway,
That
I
was
added a
so.
lot of the different edits in that. Please go over and follow on. You'll see though that I did that video and a video with Kane also
Yep.
as well, on my Instagram at Soap Corner Talk. So you can go and check out that video. It is hilarious. It has creative edits in it. It'll have you cracking up. So go over there, follow, and enjoy the content. But Jason
Yep.
Thompson rocked out. He got me with, "Oh, you want to fight equally by hopping on one leg and, the whole get out of here before I call animal control because I got a one-legged dog in my house." I was like, wow. Wow. And the way that I did it at the end when he said that, Nick was done, and I played that sad violin music at the end.
It was so good. Please check it out, you guys. I'm definitely gonna watch that
I
after we
can't
finish
play it
here.
over. Normally I would share with you guys here in the chat, but I would get a copyright, claim because there is copyright content from the show in that video. Instagram and TikTok will allow it. YouTube will not. So, yeah, good content. All right. Start of the week bold.
Um, I'm gonna give it to John McCook.
Okay.
Um, I thought that because I was gonna say Thorsten, but I'm actually gonna give it to John. That he when he was talking with his wife, that was like I could understand his pain and where he was coming from, and you know he's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. Even though he put himself in this position, like I
Mm-hmm.
understand. This was well acted scenes. I love this.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, he had to tell them like, look, son, I do for myself. I might be old, but y'all ain't finna just put me out the pasture. I know what I'm doing. My mind is still good. I can draw. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
All right, BTG star of the week.
um, I'm gonna give it to Trisha.
Okay.
That was a really great scene where she realized that she was alone on Valentine's Day, and she just snaps. Even with all the money in the world that she has, she can't get any affection, and then she smashes the mirror. I'm like, that was a great scene.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Trish is always good. She makes a great antagonist.
Yep.
Um, I'm trying to think. Nothing really stood out. I know a lot of people in the chat are saying Haley and Anita. So,
Oh
yep,
yeah.
yep, I agree with that too. All right, pickle of the week, young Victoria.
Boy, boy, boy. This is one of the most evil women on this show.
I agree, diabolical.
Yeah. Trying
Mm-hmm.
to use your kids and now your brother's kids. After
Mm-hmm.
he told, you'll see how many times he told her no.
Girl, I
She
gotta
still
see
didn't want to
that.
listen.
I know that's crazy. I mean, and then what she tried to do to Billy, you trying to turn this man's kids against him? At first, she was like, well, I'm not going to tell them, but I'll just let him see it for yourself. And then you turn around and want to send him away just to stick it to him. It's kind of being passive aggressive. I'm not necessarily going to tell him anything. I'm going to remove them from the situation, but I know that's going to hurt Billy because he wants his kids close. So she
Right.
thinks she's slick.
She sure does.
All right, pickle of the week, bold.
I'm, we'll give that to Ivy,
Mm-hmm.
actually. That's actually who they needed a seat for bowl, too. Ivy is a bitter auntie. Just get a man, get a life of your own. Stop getting into kids' business.
Yeah, I'm gonna
They're
give it to Brooke.
kids.
Oh, girl. I mean, y'all stole. Y'all ran him into the ground. How could you do that? Girl, just stop.
Get some help.
Yeah,
Get some
exactly.
accountability.
Exactly. Y'all kicked that man to the curb and then ate cake afterward. And you talking about how you gonna steal something that wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Just cut it out. You just butt hurt and then talking about what she won't allow. What you gonna tell Eric what to do? I mean, we all know he gonna end up back at Forrester anyway, but who are you to tell Eric what he ain't gonna do?
See, this is what happens when they've given her all this grace and
Mm-hmm.
thinking that she's running things. This is what happens.
Yep.
Both Reg and especially Eric.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, pickle BTG.
Um, gonna give that probably to Lynette
I was thinking the
this week.
same thing. I was
Cause
thinking the exact same thing. Giving it to yeah, cause she gonna threaten that man. I'm glad he said, you know what? If I go down, y'all going too, and that put a little bit of fear in her, cause he ain't got nothing to lose. If he's about to go down, especially with Joey, cut him off at the knees, he gonna spill the tea faster than Liam did.
mm-hmm. Exactly. And with reason.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't blame him. Oh Lord. Okay. Um, Pickle of the week. Okay. Then we got our Simple Olympics.
Okay. So I was thinking of this. So for bronze, I'm gonna put Nate because this man is listening to Victoria talk about how she's going to weaponize her kids against the father of her child, and he's still trying to champion her. Um, you got Noah at silver for still trying to go to LA, and he's still crying about Sienna even after she left him again.
Mm-hmm.
Holden,
Mm-hmm.
he was really trying to contemplate telling her everything, even though she does not want any relationship with him. And then you got Jack at platinum
Mm-hmm.
for obvious reasons, but Kane is taking cosmic. You have all the information. Just use your common sense, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Call the police.
Yeah.
But that's all.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run through it. And that's like I said, like kind of your list to the T. Noah, Kane, Jack, and Holden. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep. That's why I'll just pick those four. And then who get Lily Winner's award?
Victoria.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
some
does.
contenders. I thought it was going to be Sally, but Victoria, she took the torch. I'm like, okay, you got it, girl. You got the award by all means.
Yes, she does. The way she's moving through these streets, trying to use kids and throw them under the bus against their parents. Yeah, she definitely gets that award. Most
Yeah.
definitely. All right. You got anything else, girl? I'm going to end it. They still ain't gave this man his medication. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, please go take care of your hubby. I will not be on next week, guys. My son, he has a surgery this coming Tuesday. So I'll be back the following week
mm-hmm.
after that. So I missed the last week of February's sweep. So hopefully they make it worth it for you guys.
Yeah. And you go ahead and take care of your baby. Thank you for
Yeah,
being
I'm
on.
terrified.
I know. I know. Keep us posted if you can
Oh,
in the group chat.
absolutely.
Yep.
Because he'll be hospitalized for definitely for a few days. But yeah, I will miss you guys. But yeah, just as a heads up, guys.
Yep.
So
All right.
thank you so much, Aisha.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody send some prayers up as her son go through this surgery, and
Yeah,
he gets healthy, and we get our Bree back.
yeah.
All
This
right.
is
Yeah. So, all right, you guys. Until next time, make sure you hit the like button on the way out, and we will see you guys later. Bye, Soapies.
bye, guys. See you